me and Ryan have been officially welcomed to the jungle that is Barstool Sports.
I brought it toward the Coyotes, and I asked them if it was okay if I joined the Spittin Chiclets podcast full time.
Ryan Whitney's got a pink Whitney out there now.
Hey, this is a sandbagger. Get that on camera.
Peakin, the song man, is a full-time member.
Marley just got an assist from
Chris Beach. Whoa, we're buzzing right now. Sonk.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 602 of the Spittin Chiclets podcast. We are back a day early, ready to roll with Luc Robitaille. What a legend. But first, we got to talk about Discover. This episode is brought to you by Discover, sponsored by Discover, the official credit card of the National Hockey League. No matter if your team wins or loses, Discover is there for you with cash back on all of your post-game purchases. With the Discover IT card, you can earn cash back on every purchase. So celebratory wings just got even tastier. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Cash back on team gear, cash back on tickets, cash back on French fries, etc., etc. The Discovery NHL Winter Classic is taking place January 2nd, 2026 in Miami. Rangers at Panthers. Tune into TNT and Biz. Get cash back on every purchase with the Discover IT card. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
What a read.
Whoa. Yeah, guys, I can read sometimes. What's going on? Biz, you've been an excellent reader lately.
That's true.
Usually when I'm reading about dick pills, I just all of a sudden turn into a reading savant, you know?
No way. Yeah, that makes total sense. You're a dick guy.
Well, I do the row ads. Have I done any other ads in the row ads?
I don't know.
You're
You'd know better than
addicted to
me.
those.
Yeah. the ads or the pills?
Both.
Or just dick.
Oh no.
Or your own.
Oh,
Your own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your own.
Pause.
So we have 95 minutes with Luc Robitaille. I know we're pumping this up, but just please, everyone. We even wanted to drop this episode Thursday because it gives you a little extra time to listen to him before we're back with you on Monday. A comedian, a Hall of Famer, a legendary career, and an awesome storyteller. We got RA's World. Apparently, RA is very fired up to talk about your There Will Be Blood video. I got a kick out of that. I saw it was 6 minutes. And I was like, I didn't want it to end. I just wanted you to keep going. I tweeted, you may be a movie critic when all is said and done.
Well, I mean, the fact that we've been talking about There Will Be Blood, and that's the only movie I watch, and I've probably seen it 75 times. And then Quentin Tarantino. Most of you who are listening right now have probably been online and see what the uproar is. I think it was the most viral thing that happened on Tuesday, because you're going to be listening to this 2 days separated.
What was it?
So he came out with his
very rude
top 20 list of movies of the 21st century. It was a very odd list, like kind of like all over the place in a sense of genres and what his favorites were. I thought he said Toy Story at 4. It was actually he had Toy Story 3 as his second favorite movie of the 21st century. So you think a guy like Quentin Tarantino would be maybe a little bit like.
Well, he directed Toy Story.
Oh no, okay, well that makes a lot of sense. He had his number one as Black Hawk Down. Now, I saw it one time, and all I remember from it is like it was very intense and loud the entire time. Like there was never a break from just like gunshots and choppers.
There was.
It was just like, oh my God.
There was though, because it's one of my favorite scenes in Black Hawk Down.
He's coming at you.
No, but it was a long movie, so it was just a lot of noise for the full. I think it was like well over 2 hours, right? But the biggest that was the list right there. So if you're watching online, you could see the full list, and he still put There Will Be Blood at 5. And the comments were that if There Will Be Blood wouldn't have had Paul Dano as the priest, that it probably would have been ranked first in the 21st century. And he went at Paul Dano saying how he was like, it was a brutal performance. He overacted. He was quote unquote weak sauce, and that it essentially ruined the movie. Where a little fun fact for those of you who don't know, Paul Dano, he wasn't even scheduled to play the priest, and they were filming the movie for 3 weeks. And then I don't know who was playing the priest, but they were like, this ain't it, and this ain't the guy. So Paul Dano had 2 days notice and then stepped in that role, where I thought he was excellent. Like call him above average, but it definitely didn't ruin the movie. So I just thought it felt like a personal attack, not only on Paul Dano, but my favorite movie. So
you.
I went, yeah, exactly. I went right at Quentin Tarantino saying that he was hitting the crack pipe.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to hear what RA's thoughts, because he's the movie guy. Now, you saw the movie. What did you think of Paul Dano in it?
I thought he was great. The worst part of the quotes was, I think he at the end said he's the worst actor in the SAG, which is, I think, Screen
SAG.
Actors Guild.
Yeah.
SAG, I guess you call it. Just, it seems like there's something personal between those two going on.
A bunch of tweets were legit, like he must have plowed his mom or something.
Yes.
Or his wife or something personal. Quentin Tarantino has known to have a foot fetish. So people were saying maybe he didn't show him his feet when he asked for a picture or to see them live in the flesh. I don't know what his personal vendetta is against him, but definitely an off-the-cuff comment that I didn't appreciate.
Yeah, I thought that kid was good in that movie. He's like one of those actors that, like, you think, like, oh my God, is he this weird? Like, is this just how he is? Like, was he in he was in Batman, right? Like
he was the Riddler in Batman.
He was the Riddler, yeah. Like, just like you'd think that's him. So I thought he did a good job in that movie.
Yes, he played. But so one of the other things was Tarantino said that it should have been a two-hander, was the comment, where that's a movie like we talked about the other day, Heat, where you have two main guys going at it and they both dominate the screen. But that to me wasn't what he was supposed to provide. He was this kind of basically Daniel Day-Lewis in it, Daniel Plainview, the oil tycoon. He was his bitch. And he was this naive priest trying to be like, basically be a poser, where he would give these sermons where he would just be like, like screaming, like you see in these clips online of these priests who have Bentleys who are trying to praise to spread your wealth, right?
They're worth $400 million.
Yeah. They're
selling out the
jets.
Dallas Cowboys stadium to fucking.
Yeah. Who's the one guy where they had all the floods in Texas and he built this big mega church and he didn't want anybody staying in it while they were out of their homes and stuff. It's like, that's literally what the money's for, buddy. So I don't know. I just thought it was a bizarre way to start the week, and it just so happens it's my favorite movie all time. And Quentin Tarantino went below the belt on me.
There's two things in this life that you don't come after. It's Houston's and it's fucking There Will Be Blood, and
That's
whoever's
right.
in the way is gonna get these hands. So for the rest of you out there, anything else is on. Like me and Whit have chirped you up and down since we've known you. Those are two things we know not to bring up, and I will never ever bring those up.
I ain't mentioning it, although it is crazy that Houston's didn't give a salad named after you. I still will stand by
That's
that.
why I won't go
salad.
But the tossed salad, exactly, with extra mayo on it. But it's that's Siskel and Beesbert right there. That's just like you. That's just you just ripping up movies and ripping on directors who come at your movie. That's a good call by Keith.
I still said though, I believe that Quentin Tarantino, even if you're a big time movie head, he's probably in the top 10 all time as far as directors with his catalog of movies, the uniqueness of them and the plots and just the way that he's able to get all the best actors in them. But I would even personally have him in my Mount Rushmore. So it's nothing against him personally. It's just more of his ignorant comments towards Paul Dano.
RA's probably trying to rip through his computer screen to get on this Zoom right now. Like,
maybe he agrees with Tarantino.
Well, we'll get into that later. RA's world, that's whatever he wants to talk about. We're living in his world.
That's right.
In that segment. So tonight, everyone, us three will be in studio together with Andy Petrillo, and we'll be going coast to coast. Big time bummer for Keith and I that this isn't in the States. I understand, TV rights, all that. Amazon's just in Canada right now. But for anyone in Canada listening, tune in, Amazon Prime tonight. I went through last night. We got a hell of a slate. Blues, Bruins, Rangers, Senators, big game, Pens, Lightning, Predators, Panthers, Avalanche, Islanders, Schaefer versus Makar, Maple Leafs, Hurricanes. Leafs are kind of going right now. Wings, Blue Jackets, Wild Flames, Kraken, Oilers, goddamn Edmonton, and that Wallstedt fucking guy is just killing me. And then Blackhawks, Kings. What?
What does he have? 4 shutouts now?
In his last 6 games.
It's
and I
insane.
think he's 8-0-2 in his last 10 games. The Wild are a complete wagon. It kind of brbrings us into Tuesday night's games. A great slate also. I think the big takeaway at the end, you wake up in the morning. What were the big things that happened? That Bedard goal. I mean,
which one?
I know. The one that actually counts in the stats. The shootout one might have been even dirtier. And apparently skating by the Vegas bench after, guys were like, that was unreal, because like somebody saw him say thanks to the bench.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes just tip your cap there, fine, son. Good job. You just opened up the wickets and slid it right through the 5-hole. But the shot, man, and it was on Shea Theodore. This is a world-class defenseman, a guy who could skate almost as well as any D-man in the league. He gets him to pivot, cuts back in, and that release and the way he shoots the puck, bar down from that far out, it was a thing of beauty. I couldn't stay up for that game. I passed out after midway through the second, and then I get up, I see that. I'm like, are you kidding me? This guy and his skill level and what he's doing within all the noise about the Olympics, it's not just not slowing him down. It's actually making him elevate his game. So incredible goal from there. I didn't know if there was anything from Tuesday night's games that stood out to you, Biz, personally.
Well, I mean, obviously the Leafs winning in South Florida was huge.
Congrats, they beat the Charlotte Checkers.
No. Hey, listen, man, win's a win. Fucking Leafs needed bad. Probably the trolling from Marchand, which it felt like trolling, unless did you guys sense some sincerity in his voice?
I only read it. Did you see the video of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt like he kind of had a few smirks in there, kind of like when you do when your lip starts quivering and drives me up the fucking wall.
The lip quivers sometimes just because I'm like so excited listening to the next point that's going to come out of your mouth. It's not necessarily trolling. It's just like, oh my God, like we have a legit movie critic on the pod talking about hockey. This is a gift from God. So
you're a fucking asshole.
What? I'm serious. I loved it.
Wait, are you being as sincere as Brad Marchand right now?
I'm being more sincere. If you're saying he's trolling, there's no troll in me right now.
I feel like he's trolling and trying to stir things up.
No.
But going back to the Bedard, like I feel like coming into the year, I don't think any of us had him on the Olympic team, right? Would you agree?
No.
Right. Yep.
And with every game that's gone on, like it's just more and more confidence where you feel like, okay, wow, we're seeing the best of it. Oh my God, he's got another level. And he's just clawing at that confidence. And with every game I see him play, I'm like, damn, I think that he's going to be starting the tournament on the wing with, Crosby or McDavid at this point. Like you really can't deny his skill in the way that he's moving out there. And I know it's weird to say, like, some people might be fucking screaming at their radios or at their YouTube channel right now at the fact that I have, like, do you have him starting the tournament on the wing now at this point?
I think he went from penciled in the beginning of the year, and now it's set in stone. He's on the team. Like what he's doing this year, like you said, with the pressure of being a young guy trying to make the team, gonna be the next face of the Canada hockey movement, I guess, him and Macklin Celebrini. But I think 100% it's not even a question anymore whether you think he's going to be on the team or not. It's what you said. What line is he going to be on?
Yeah, I can't see him starting as like a third or fourth line center. Can you?
Well, look at the line. So you got the top four guaranteed. Of the top six forwards, we got Mackinnon, Crosby, McDavid, Reinhart, right? After that, like, I actually think Crosby, Reinhart, Marchand is just such a sick line. And Marchand is the one guy on Florida. Well, Reinhart as well, but like he's locked in. Like what he's done last year in the Cup final, last year in that tournament, like he's there. Then, I mean, if you're looking at McDavid and McKinnon playing with Celebrini and Bedard or figuring out one of the guys fitting in there, it makes sense. It really does. Now, I think there's some serious question marks. They're like good question marks for Canada. You're so deep. You have so many options. But I wonder if we're going to be surprised at the amount of guys that aren't playing a big role in February in Italy that were in February in Boston last year.
You mean in North America?
I know. Apparently, there's like legit rumors that this might happen. And you said it, Biz. You're like the new Merles. It's your idea. You thought of it. Just bring this thing over here. We'll sell out every barn they play it in.
So it sucks. So I guess we'll dive a little deeper into this. So we've heard rumblings that they went over there to check out the rink, and it's just not in good shape. We talked about it even last podcast.
The rink is getting put down today. The ice.
Yeah, but keep in mind it's 4 feet shorter as far as length, so they fucked up the length. I don't know how you do
so
that.
they're gonna take away the neutral zone. So just the neutral zone be shorter. It's the same as who did Nashville play? Nashville Pittsburgh. You won't even notice it. Like they did it in that Nashville Pittsburgh game. It just shortens the neutral zone a little bit. So it does. I don't think that's a big issue.
The thing that would suck for the players is they don't get the experience of the Olympics and to be in the Olympic Village and take all that in. I think for the integrity of the sport and the game, and also given how much North America and how much the growth of hockey is happening in the States right now, I think that it would be a blessing in disguise if they ended up moving the hockey component of the Olympics over to North America. Worry about growing it over here, and obviously I don't know what's going to happen with the money. I would assume that the gate has to end up going to the IOC because they're like fucking as corrupt as they come, and they're not going to be able to like take the criticism of fucking this whole thing up and the fact that this rink wasn't built because they're taking 4-hour espresso breaks in the afternoon. But I just think that it would be sick to see it over here, and then it's in our time zone where we're going at normal times, whether it's afternoon games or at night. Snap it around to Boston, Minnesota. I think that Colorado, because you got to think of rinks that wouldn't be occupied in advance, like knowing in advance. Because I would imagine like MSG, like that's for sure got to be booked up. Maybe even in Boston, like Minnesota, not sure. I feel like that's a place that deserves to watch Olympic hockey. Edmonton, Toronto, Montreal. I just think that they should seriously consider thinking about shifting it over here. And I know it would suck for the players to not get that true experience, but in fact, minus all the travel and all the bullshit, they might want that. What do you guys think about doing it over here? Do you think it takes away from the Olympics?
No. I mean, you don't get to go to the opening or closing ceremonies anyway. Yeah, you missed the Village, but the Village sounds like it's a Section 8 housing dump. And you don't even really get to go to like other events. You're not really, I mean, maybe we got to see like a little bit here or there, but I just think at this point, the guys wouldn't even care. Saving the travel over, saving the time change, saving all that. You're in North America. And in terms of the gate, like IOC, yeah, they definitely get something, but how many seats are in this arena that's still being built anyways? There's no way it's
the other
18,000. So it's like the atmosphere would be even better.
And G was chiming in the group text about Lugano. That's in Switzerland, right?
Yes.
So I heard that's a definite no.
Okay, so just even hearing that, like, what are the other options? So this is becoming more and more of a serious issue. We'll get as much information behind the scenes and bring it to you guys as far as what we can, but that's probably at the top of the list of concerns right now for the NHL and trying to grow the game, because this is the first time they're back in I don't know how many years, the first time that McDavid is going to be playing best on best. Same with Makar, right, too?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Makar has either.
Mackinnon.
Mackinnon hasn't either?
No, this will be 12 years. It was 2014 in Russia.
And then here we go. We're having a fucking rink issue.
But, so I heard, I think the biggest issue too is like they're going to supposedly have the ice down January 5th, I think, and get some skating on it, whatever. But the biggest issue I think could be if, you know, those days that you have 3 games on, like that first day where there's 3 games on that same sheet with, you know, these big, massive guys skating on it, like it takes the tear on it. So you could be looking at like a sheet of ice. Like, remember playing an afternoon game in the AHL or a late game after a NBA game, and there's like cones on the ice to not skate by. So I think that would be something to worry about. So even having to pivot halfway through the tournament because the ice is so shitty, it's like, why not just start it over here?
Yeah, it's like you can't even truly test it to what it's going to be going through during the Olympics. I agree with you, Jans. I don't even think they should risk it. I think they should think of an alternative plan right now. And some people might say, well, keep it at least closer. Like maybe they can go to Sweden or Finland or somewhere overseas. I just think, what do you think? 80 to 85% of the players that are going to be playing in the Olympics are playing in the National Hockey League?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I think it's more. You're saying because of Switzerland.
Yeah, there's some countries
Germany,
where it's like half, if not more than half the players in the team.
She's saying Turin, where they had the 06 games that Sweden won the gold. It's an hour and a half from Milan, so that makes a lot of sense to me. Now, if this rink they're building right now, like, does the NHL bring over the ice crew?
No.
Because is it like Mario and Luigi out there on the Zamboni that they've done it for like a couple months? Like, because honestly, they should.
It's the same people that did the rink in Torino, but it's not NHL guys. It's not because, I mean, think of the outdoor games they put up in what, a couple months, 2 months?
Even quicker, I think.
Quicker. I mean, obviously that's
quicker.
different. They probably have the compression stuff underneath, but why not bring those guys over? Because what I heard is that where it is in Italy right now, there was not, like, they didn't have water, they didn't have power. It was like a brand new site. Like they just said, okay, let's put a rink here, and then they had to build the infrastructure. So it's
FIFA and the Olympic Committee is
mafia.
Those are absolute
They're fucking sitting on their
shows.
mega yachts.
Yeah, they're very similar to Joel Osteen and the rest of that Catholic
Joel
Christian
Osteen, that's
crew
what it is.
with the monster houses and the
How did you pull
Bugattis. G wrote it up there, Joel Osteen. Yeah, here's a church that I make $45 million a year and built this church, but as this hurricane's ravaging through our town, nobody's allowed in here. But make sure you come back to church and donate in 3 weeks when you get back into your houses. So the Olympic Committee and FIFA are just scam artists. That's what it is. Upsetting for the NHL. I'm sure that Gary Bettman's sitting in his office fuming that we're back. It's finally back. And it was a lot of headaches to get back, right? The disagreements with the owners and the players and the league and all this. All right, let's do it. This is great for the game. And now this is the noise coming out. Now, granted, if it all turns out okay, once the games start, that's all we're talking about. That's all we care about. But as of right now, this should not be the storyline. It should be going through the top 6 of Canada, U.S., Sweden, and then not talking about a rink that's like the bricks are still being put up and they're putting the cutter on the back of the Zamboni like three hours before the face-off of the first game of the Olympics.
Don't worry, it's going to get it done.
It's going to get it done.
If they need guys to go over there and help out, we should just go. Like, if they need bodies, let's go and do it.
What are we going to do?
We're here to build the game too.
We're going to end up drinking wine, eating Italian food.
I used to help lay brick.
Oh, I know you lay brick. That never changed.
No,
It didn't stop.
I used to help build houses in Welland. I used to bring the moiter to the guys laying the brick.
Really?
I used to help mix it in the mixer, and then put it in the pails, dump it in the wheelbarrow, and then wheelbarrow it all the way up to the house, and then they could.
I'd love to see what shape
biz?
those houses are in.
I think back then I was making $10 cash an hour.
Right to Aeropostale, grab a T-shirt, resell it a couple years later.
Right to fucking
to Malkin.
Yeah, right to Aldo for my new dress shoes. So
Demidov now has it. It's been passed around Russian since Biz bought it.
I'd love to see if those houses are still standing, man.
Oh,
like,
buddy,
imagine being like,
me? You don't
Paul
think
Bissonnette built this house.
I take pride in my helping with bricklaying work? You don't think so?
They're all singing Christmas carols. The roof collapses. They're like, Bissonnette.
I wasn't the one putting the brick on the house. I was just helping mix the moiter.
I know, but that might be more important than the actual laying of the brick. Is what is making the brick?
I look Italian and I'm half decent at mixing moiter. I'll see you over there, IOC. The other thing I was going to bring up too. I don't know what the expectations were coming into the year. I think a lot of people thought that Washington was going to drop off. And that Carberry and crew, man, I'll tell you, like, even when they came back on the Leafs when they were down those 2 goals, I don't know if you guys caught the video in the locker room. And they always have these locker room videos come out. And just like every time Carberry says something, the way that the players light up and they have their inside jokes. And yeah, like Ovi's like, oh, yeah, like, and everybody's like in unison. Like, it's unreal to watch. Like, that to me is the embodiment of what a team should be like, and the chemistry they have and the love for one another. And, you know, it's a bunch of, and think of how many like castaways they ended up picking up. Like Chychrun, you know, he gets shipped out of Arizona, ends up going to Ottawa, couldn't settle in there. He ends up having a career year last year, gets the big ticket. And then now I'm pretty sure he's a name that got added to that list of players that could be representing Canada for the Olympics. So who would have thought a few years ago after getting, I don't want to say,
isn't he American?
No, he's
not American.
No, he might be dual.
His father was playing.
I thought he was from Florida.
Yeah, his father's Canadian. He won a Stanley Cup, I believe, with the Penguins. Played in Philadelphia. and now they reside in is it Boca Raton?
Yep.
In Florida. So I believe he does have Canadian citizenship, and he would represent Canada if he did go to the Olympics, which, I mean, if his plays speaking for itself, I think that he deserves a very strong consideration. Dillon Strome, another guy who was a castaway who ended up going over to Chicago. They didn't want him. I don't even think they qualified him. And I mean, the list goes on Logan Thompson, who should be another guy who's on the fucking Olympic team. So it's remarkable what Carberry and crew has done there. And I think they deserve a lot of praise for the last few years. People saying, they rode the Ovi goal wave last year, ended up getting in the playoffs and doing damage. And this year, I think that a lot of people would have thought they would have dropped off, especially with the rumors of it being Ovi's last year and assuming that he would then drop off. But they are all systems go, 5 wins in a row. And where do they sit right now in the standings? I believe they're in the top. They're second place in the Metropolitan, tied. Actually, they're tied. Carolina's got a few games in hand on them, but tied with 34 points. So remarkable what Carberry's done.
And we didn't bring up that with the 4 feet shorter for the Olympic ice, for the ice at the Olympics, is there a person in the league as a defenseman, Keith, that you would not want to give 4 more feet on the forecheck to than Tom Wilson?
Tom Wilson. Oh my God.
Okay. I think it might have been, was it DeBoer saying, or was it maybe Nick Kyprios on his show? Like, yeah, so it's shorter, so you have less room to get away from forecheckers. And now we're talking Tom Wilson just killing someone. Now, granted, if you breathe on someone the wrong way in international hockey, you can get like a tournament disqualification and you're just immediately banned. But he will throw a hit over there if he's on that team, which I think he should be, that just basically knocks a guy out of the rest of the NHL season and sends Canada buzzing up and down the ice the rest of the game, chanting on their like warrior, savage forechecker on 4 feet less of ice. So Tom Wilson, I see him on the team. I see him on the team.
100%. But I think it'll be some poor kid from Denmark who,
I know.
just doesn't understand that you got to have your head up no matter what. And there is 0% chance Tom Wilson finishes that tournament.
That might be a worry, but he's been smarter. He also has 16 goals. It's like this guy's turned into a legit offensive weapon.
I think he's on a 5 or 6 game point streak right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Ovi had 2 apples Tuesday night. I didn't believe in him last year, and then this year I was like, all right, I think the magic of the Ovi goal chase will end. And I thought I was right, and they've just completely flipped things around. They look awesome. In terms of Olympic news that leads into, or Olympic roster questions that leads into current NHL questions, goaltending, and Jordan Binnington, he got pulled the other night. I don't know if you saw the little exchange
mini
they
Patty
had.
Waugh moment.
He was not happy with getting pulled, and he's coming off. He's got his helmet on, so you can't read any lips. I didn't see a view of Monty talking back to him, but he was jawing at him. Monty was funny. He was asked about it after and said he told me that he loves me, and I told him I love you, Jordan. But
unreal.
I don't really know why he was that upset he got pulled. Both goals were pretty weak. One went like far side on him from near the boards, and the other one was just like an awkward looking kind of off angle. St. Louis has nothing going on, and Monty pulls him out of the game. And I don't think that's something that lingers. Now, if he gets pulled quickly again, you could see him like Handrahan attack his own coach maybe. But I was surprised to see when the team's doing that bad. That's probably part of it. The emotions are crazy. Everyone's down in the dumps. Now we're down again in this game at home, I think it was, and he's jawing at his coach. Not good if you're a Blues fan.
I think this puts a little bit more oxygen in the fact that he might get dealt. I think that Monty handled that perfectly though. That was comedy when I read those quotes and oh man, that's a seasoned vet as a head coach, just completely diffusing a situation and getting all the reporters laughing. But buddy, this team has struggled. They've been dealing with injuries. They've just haven't played well. You thought that they would ride that magic after the second half of last season, and they look like a shell of themselves. Not as physical, just playing with no confidence. So I don't know. I'm not the goaltending expert. I don't think has been his best start to the year. Do I think that it's affected his Olympic bid? Probably. But I would imagine if you're Canada, you still just bring him, even if it's as that third, just to have him. You know, you got a guy who's comfortable in that room and that, you know, with the boys, and they have confidence in him. So I don't really know what else to say. But have you been hearing any rumors, more amplification on a potential trade?
The only things I've been hearing is the Edmonton stuff, but I honestly think when it comes down to it, St. Louis could be trading a lot more guys than just Jordan Binnington. Like they like you said, Whit, they look like a shell of themselves. They bring nothing. I love Robbie Thomas. I think Kairu's a nice player too, but like the rest of they got to step it up there.
I would not trade Thomas.
Yeah,
Broberg, Holloway, and Neighbors. That's it. And I was one
Snuggerud?
earlier that's what?
Snuggerud.
I'm sorry, Snuggerud. He's out injured, so he wasn't on my head. Or I'm just making an excuse that I forgot about.
Good
Snuggerud.
excuse.
I was on the thing like, why would you trade Kairu? But I guess at this point, like maybe you could get a lot back for him, and maybe there's parts of his game that Doug Armstrong's not a fan of. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking here that the fact he's been in the news as a possible trade target, that there might be something there. So those 5 names, those are my safe list. But after that, yeah, let's try to figure this thing out and try to set Alexander Steen up with something to go with once he takes over as GM.
You just don't want to panic trade too, right? Because Kairu is such a valuable asset at $8 million for how many more years to come. But then again, it kind of reminds me of maybe like a Sabres trade, where they ended up trading Cousins to Ottawa for like a Josh Norris, right? Where you're just trying to get something. You're trying to spark the team in some sort of way. And usually when a big move like that goes down, it's kind of like an eyebrow raise, like, oh fuck, maybe nobody's safe around here, and it gets everybody playing to the top of their ability. Which I don't know if you guys saw Norris's first game back with Buffalo. He looked great. And now they got their full roster, so maybe they start getting going here. This is we actually got them on TNT tonight against the Flyers, who have been playing way above their expectations so far this year, getting great goaltending. Zegras having a career year. But now is normally the stretch of time where Buffalo takes a dump and they put themselves behind the 8 ball and in really no possibility of making playoffs. So I'm really interested with a healthy roster and a lot of questions around that core group in Buffalo. What can they do in this next 10, 15 game stretch here before, or I guess they probably have about 20 before Olympic break.
I think the biggest haul you'd get, just to go back to St. Louis, would be Parayko. Like imagine.
And I didn't say Shen, but Shen, dude, that guy's a warrior. Stanley Cup champ. Like, but he's on the back 9 of his career, I'd say, and I think a cup contending team would give up a boatload for him, right? Like that is a guy like, all right, we slide this guy in our third line. Like our team just got so much better.
Yeah.
And that's not,
that reeks of like a Florida grabbing him and all of a sudden,
that. Don't even say that. I don't want to hear like Florida. I know you're right though. You're right. But, and Buffalo, I had a DM from a Buffalo fan. He's like, I don't even want, what did he say? Something like, teams just want to, make the playoffs that haven't been in the playoffs for so long. I'm not even thinking that. And I'm not even thinking being in the race in March, when March starts. Like, if you're still in the race March 1st, like, all right, we got a fantastic final 20-25 games here. He's like, just February. When February starts, can we still be in it? So that's where the Sabres, they just want a February 1st. Right now, they're 5 points out of the last wild card spot. I would consider where they're at now, February 1st, still in the race. Now, when you have to leapfrog 7 teams, it's a little fake when you see 5 points, considering all the teams above you. But this poor guy, he doesn't even want playoffs. He doesn't even want being in the mix in March, just February. So
just a battle game to get into a wild card spot at home with the GOAT jerseys on.
Yeah,
that's all he wants.
That would be special. Like a February 28th afternoon game in Buffalo. Everyone's crippled because they haven't even been to sleep because they're such drunks there. And they show up, and if they win this game, they're 2nd seed wild card February 28th. The place would be buzzing.
Yeah,
we'd have to go.
Buzzing. All right, well, we do have to mention Monday night, prime Monday night hockey. We got to talk about Amazon, considering we're going to be on there tonight. That's Lightning Leafs at the Yacht Club. Now, Biz, they've got 3 of the last 4, so it's 2 teams going. And I mean, Tampa's going in one direction. The Leafs look like the opposite direction. Now they're turning around a little bit. So a big Monday night hockey game in Toronto. Biz, I know that they've looked better. I know that they've won 3 of 4. A lot of questions around Matthews right now, I think. He scored the nice goal in Pittsburgh. What are you seeing? Like, are you as worried as some Leafs fans are? Because a lot of them, at least on Twitter, are like, where did the magic go? Like, what is going on? I saw one, Bedard stole Matthews' release from him. I'm curious if you're like, all right, something's off here.
Yeah, there's been a few moments where he has looked more like himself recently. I think people are concerned about the injuries piling up and what type of a shape his body's in. There was a few clips even from the game against Florida where you could see where he's got a perfect opportunity where if you're Austin Matthews, like that is your scoring zone. Like every time, especially in the year where he scored 69 goals, giggity, he was fucking firing that thing, no questions asked, where he seems to have more of a pass first mentality, which I don't like. They put him on the point on the power play. And Jans is shaking his head right now. Like first of all, they end up giving up that shorthanded goal when they're up 2-0 in that game. And I think as far as what Berube's post-game comments were, is I think that experiment's over. But just weird, like you're up 2, you're on the road. That's a building where you've given up a 2-goal lead before to lose complete control of a fucking playoff series less than a year prior. But I would say that I'm just like, the more that people watch him and worry about his body, I guess it gets me in my own head about how his back's feeling and where he feels at physically. I mean, he's lugged a lot of miles over the first part of his career. I don't know, man. Like, I think that right now, don't put him there. Let him just focus on his position and worrying about that and then delegate the playing defense to fucking defense on the power play, despite if your power play might be even struggling a little bit. But yeah, I could see why people are trying to kick up dust on that. Like I
saw that clip. I saw the clip you're talking about where he wheels like high above the circles and comes down to the slot. And whoever made the video, it was a random person I saw making a video like, this is your area.
Shot.
This is
That's
your Gretzky behind the net. And he dishes it over to no one. And the guy, it's obviously a Leafs fan. He's like, what is this? That was the one you're talking about, I think.
Yes. Yeah. That's kind of the main clip where I think people are seeing a little bit too much pass first mentality where it's like, nah, man, you need to be selfish. You have one of the nastiest releases the league's ever seen. So that's why the injury question mark comes in as to why maybe he's not getting the same velocity, or maybe that torque and the way that he shoots it is putting more strain on his body. But I don't know. I think that the team overall just needs to worry about defending better. Pasha sent me the under the hood stats the other day where basically they were second last or last in every statistical category as far as them letting goals in their own net and their D zone coverage. So the more that improves and the more that, Wool and Stolarz play to their capability, the better they're going to get, because them putting the puck in the back of the net hasn't been the issue so far this year. And as far as more Leafs is concerned, Dakota Joshua got, I would say, a fairly deserved PP whack. It's like, hey, man, 20 games in here. I think we've been patient enough. Let's see more of that bulldog mentality and you using your size and being a fucking factor out there. And then he ended up having 1-1 last game. Scott Lawton coming back, huge for the penalty kill. And he's a dog. And then he ended up getting his first the other night. So things are starting to turn around. Regardless if Brad Marchand was trolling or not, I do think that they are going to end up in a playoff spot, and that the rebuild quotes and the fucking trade this guy, trade that guy, let's bash Morgan Riley here, let's bash this guy there. That's just got to stop. Let's simmer down here. 30 games into the year. Let's just get the ship righted and get ourselves inside the playoffs. I mean, let's throw it over to Jans. Like, how about fucking Florida here?
That's what I was just going there. They're
like,
last place in the Eastern Conference, Keith. And you could say we got no Kachuk, we got no Barkov, a bunch of injuries, but you're not worried in the least.
No, last I saw that Matthew is skating. I saw that last night on I thought it was on the broadcast, but if he's skating and he's back soon would be unbelievable. Because obviously when you're missing guys like him and Barkey, it affects everybody else. You're not seeing the same Reinhart that you usually see. You're not seeing the same Bennett that you usually see, just because those guys are so good at driving lines and getting everybody in the mix. But and even like Benny, like when Benny's at his best, he's running around killing people. Like but at the Matthews doing the same shit. Like he feeds off of that type of energy. Obviously, the goal scoring and stuff like hurts not having them out there, but I honestly think I expected a little more from the younger guys like the Sam Miskevich. I thought he was going to come in. I don't know if these guys are just, you know, a little bit more comfy, not fighting for a job because, you know, their slots are set for the season because they have so many injuries. But if I was on that team, I'd be putting a little blame on the younger guys needing to step up. But Marchie, like, he's been incredible. Like, playing with no one. He lost Luosterainen, one of his line mates. He's not even playing right now, too. So it's like what he's done, if there was any questions in the beginning of the year, if he was too old to be on the Olympic teams, he's going to be there, like you said earlier, with Bob, too. Bob hasn't been great. He hasn't been himself. Like, you notice things when Bob, and from playing with him, like when he's tracking pucks, like there's little things that I can see in his game where it's like, okay, this guy, I think I said it to you one warm-ups when we were at the game.
You're
I'm
screwed.
Like, yeah, like you're screwed. Like the way that he feels the puck and sees it, I'm like, okay, this guy's feeling it. And I haven't seen that this year so far from him. He's given up a couple, it seems like a weak goal or a couple weak goals every game. But honestly, it's one of those things like you can't judge them yet till Barkey and Matthew are back. I think the Kulikov injury too is a huge miss for them too. Like people aren't talking about that. He steadies that blue line. He plays his role. He doesn't ask for more, doesn't ask for less, does everything the right way. So it's just one of those things right now. The injuries are brutal to even judge them on. But if I was on that team, I'd be wanting a little more from the younger guys who are given these minutes right now, right? Because at the end of the day, when those guys come back, you're not getting those minutes. And
I think right now they're not ready for those minutes. Like that's just not, they're playing in a role that they're not ready for, or maybe will never be ready for. I don't know. But it is at some point, like 3 straight cup finals, dude, for a lot of those guys, like they are gassed, they're injured. I even couldn't believe Tuesday night there was a loose puck race, and now Nick Robertson can motor, but he beat Forsling, outmuscled Forsling, and it ended up being Lawton's first goal of the year. It was like seeing Duncan Keefe like lose a race to a loose puck and then kind of get outmuscled. You just never see it out of Forsling. So he's probably playing even more than they want him to. Even being the best in shape VO2 guy in the world, it's like it's just wearing down on guys. So at some point, yeah, there's a lot of hockey left, but that much hockey in the past 3 years and this amount of injuries, like if they went on to miss the playoffs, it's not after what I've seen so far, it wouldn't be like that shocking. And this is from a group of guys who said they're just going to win it again this year.
They're decimated right now. Actually, did you see they posted to their social accounts? One of their workers was asking them on the way out to the ice about 6'7", and Brad Marchand said if you say that in his household, you get grounded.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are coming at me. They're showing the meme of like Sandler's buddy, like, how you doing, kids, with the backwards hat? Like me being an old guy enjoying 6'7". Sorry for enjoying something.
Isn't that Nick Swanson?
Just haters.
Sorry for enjoying something, guys. Sorry for laughing my way through life, you motherfucking miserable pricks. Fuck you. 6'7".
6'7".
No, you're fucking loser. You're an old man. Act your age. Shut up. I fucking do a podcast, wear a hoodie and a hat every day, you bitch.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Talking about injuries, Biz.
I was gonna mention. Tyler Seguin.
Sucks.
He's out for a long period of time here. ACL. Just like the injuries just keep piling up. The other one too, we talked about his 1,000th game, Brendan Dillon. I don't know if you guys caught this situation when he played in his 1,000th game against Columbus. There was a net front battle between him and Voronkov, a big guy, big boy.
Most.
And, Dillon just trying to protect the net front. It looked like he kind of threw one with his glove on. And I think Voronkov took that as a signal like, oh, I might be going. And then Voronkov, sometimes at the end of your shift too, things are happening a lot faster and a lot more intense than they might actually be. And he drops the mitts and then he just starts swinging. And when a guy with that much length and size gets a great hold of you, oh, we got Pasha popping on here. Was he coming to talk about that Brendan Dillon thing? What are you doing there, Pasha?
I got something to say to Pasha.
Oh, I don't just threw me in there, but
Since when do you come on unannounced?
Yeah, Jesus
I don't
Christ.
know. It's just popped me in on its own.
Yeah. Well,
No
anyway.
worries, Pasha.
So then Voronkov got that good grip, and then the minute he starts throwing, then people had an issue with the way that he threw him down to the ice. I just think this is a tough result to what Voronkov thought was going to be a fight. Dillon's just playing hard in the net front. And from a guy with experience, like when you're in those net front battles at the end of your shift, sometimes it's just like you fucking drop them and you figure that out, and then you ask questions later rather than eating one on the jaw. So sucks to see Dillon in his 1,000th game go down the tunnel. He came back to try to finish, but then didn't end up coming back out for the third. So just wanted to mention that one.
And he's had neck surgery.
Ugh.
Biz and all the fans listening, if you're wondering if a guy on your team that you root for, if his teammates like him, go and watch that at what happened after Dillon got hit. Because everybody on that team, you can just tell that they love that guy. Every guy was running someone. Everyone was trying to fight someone. I saw some quotes from Sheldon Keefe too. He was pissed the fuck off. Like, that's how you know if your teammates love you, when they act like that after. And I loved every second out of your New Jersey Devils, Pasha.
Not to drag the shitbag Rangers into the bus, but did you see what Mike Rupp posted after that? Basically being like, where was this with the Rangers when Fox got hit and hurt? He goes, we saw no pulse out of them. They need to show a response like the Devils did. So I digress.
You're unbelievable. That's where you went. Now, they play again.
Anything you want to chirp JT Miller about, Posh?
Did you see his defensive play last night?
All right, get
They
this
won,
guy
Pasha.
out of here.
They beat one of the best teams in the league.
They're playing great.
It was a tie game with 8 minutes left, and he had one of the worst turnovers I've seen, and then didn't.
Well, a
backtrack.
turnover's not defensive play. Player haters
This
ball.
jacket's made from your mother's pubic hair.
You said you had a question for me, what?
Silky Johnson.
Buck nasty.
So there was a tweet out that said, I bet you Matthew Olivier cannot wait until December 15th or whatever they play again. Columbus, New
Year's
Jersey.
Eve, 31st.
New Year's Eve. And I bet you he can't wait for this rematch. Hopefully he's healthy enough to be back. And Olivier liked it. You know, that's just a subtle sign, Biz. Like, I'm seeing what you're writing out there. I'm watching this hockey game. I see what the Devils are doing to my Blue Jackets, and I don't think they'd be doing it if I was in the lineup. So hopefully he's back December 31st, and I think you're going to see a little bit of a different Devils toughness with that guy.
Oh, no. They'll be ready.
They might get
Dillon,
McDermott back.
Dillon
Ken Danico's playing. He already announced
no
it.
shit.
Yeah.
Dillon will beat the fucking wheels off Voronkov with a fair start or beat the wheels off Olivier. I welcome it. I can't wait to see it.
Wow, you think
I
Dillon would beat up
don't know
Olivier?
if he can beat up
I do.
Olivier.
I think you got to bring somebody up. You bring up someone out of the federal
No, you
prison
trade back
Jesper
for
Bratt,
McDermott.
maybe? Oh.
Hey, you get McDermott back. A little swap for the night.
No, thank you.
The other thing I wanted to bring up was Ozzy Wiesblatt ended up scoring his first NHL goal, and right afterward points up to the sky for his on behalf of his brother, who tragically passed in a car accident not too long ago. So just thought that was a very special moment, and that family's been through so much. Just really happy to see them have a moment like that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Awesome stuff there for the Wiesblatt family. And I think it's time for Luc Robitaille. So everyone sit back, grab a drink, grab a Pink Whitney, and just enjoy this right now because you're going to love it. Guys, I want to take a minute here and talk about Noble. This episode is presented to you by Noble. Noble is a footwear brand for training and for daily life built to support you in your pursuit of physical, mental, and emotional strength. Noble celebrates a no bullshit approach to wellness. They've got options across lifestyle and training, and they are the best shoe for anyone who wants to be a better version of themselves. Plus, Noble is now the official training shoe of the NHL and our boy Paul Biznasty Bissonette. Exclusively for Spittin Chiclets listeners, Noble is offering 40% off your order. Visit www.nobleproject.com/chiclets for 40% off your entire order. I know many of you people out there have dads or friends who need a new pair of kicks. 40% off right now. Go to www.nobleproject.com/chiclets, CHICLETS on www.nobleproject.com/chiclets for 40% off of the official training shoe of the NHL. Guys, want to take a quick moment and talk about Game Time. The start of hockey season is here. It's ripping cold air through your face as you walk into the arena. The roar of the crowd and an enormous breakaway goal or a big save or a fight. It's electric, but getting into the game can be a pain in the butt. Everyone knows that. Queues, price jumps, getting logged out mid-click. When you have your ticket, all you want is to be there, beer in hand, losing your voice, going nuts with the rest of the crowd. But the Game Time app gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in a few taps. It's incredibly easy to use, and the Game Time guarantee means you can trust you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. Plus, fees are already included, so what you see is what you pay. Tonight, the Blues are in Boston, $60 right now on Game Time. What a deal that is. We're in the holiday season. If you're in Boston, use Game Time. Go grab some tickets to the Blues in town. Check out that game. Take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHICLES for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHICLETS for $20 off. So $40 if you're going to sign up to Game Time. Go to the Bruins tonight. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. What an honor this is. We're out in LA, joined by Hockey Hall of Famer, Stanley Cup champ, Memorial Cup champ, I believe.
No.
Oh, just Quebec League champ.
Lost in the final, goalie's fault.
Oh, there we go. There we go. That's Luc Robitaille's voice, everyone.
We'll get that story now.
Exactly.
What happened? He went out the night before. I let a few too many in, or what?
No, we felt we got screwed by the league. So this is the days where it was in Portland, and somehow they added a game to have Portland played against, I think it was Kelowna. Robbie Brown was on that team, and Hitchcock was their coach. But they added a game to get a bigger crowd. I don't know the way the standing was. So Robbie Brown, I think Hitch team won, but they played Wednesday, Thursday. We had to play them Friday night. So those poor guys played 3 and 3 nights. We were supposed to play Thursday, and then the finals was Saturday 11. But we crushed them on Friday night because it was 3 and 3 nights. But then our excuse was we had to play at 11 o'clock the next morning against Windsor, which was Gary Roberts. Chase on, Steve Chase.
So you don't even get the 24 hours rest. You're right into.
So that was our excuse.
So then you lost. You lost in the final.
I lost that one. I think it was 4-2 something.
And that was your last year junior. We were looking at the hockey DB. So Pat Brisson, the agent, was on your junior team. Okay, wow.
He was a front of the net guy.
Really? Well, you're also not mentioning you had 191 points that year.
That's decent.
That's a little ridiculous. And then Keith, you said, let me click on this, the Hull Olympics. Another guy had 191 points.
Yeah.
Guy Rouleau.
Never even played.
Yeah, he
had 91 goals, Luke.
Yeah, he's the best goal scorer I've ever seen. Probably even better, like pure, like Yari Curry was a pure goal scorer. This guy was a whole other level.
Really?
He just never played. He signed with Montreal, then went with the Islanders farm team, got MVP of the playoffs. And his story was when he signed with the Islanders, they had Patty LaFontaine, and they said, he said, I'll sign. He was kind of a stubborn guy, you know. He said, I'll sign, but I want to have one preseason game next year. They said, yeah, you signed a minor league deal. It's like with the assistant GM. So he went to the final from Europe and got MVP of the playoff. They won. Next year, he showed up at camp at Al Arbor, was the coach.
Oh.
And he cut him after 3. He said, listen, Guy, you had a really good camp. You did really good. If you go down there, and you do well, we'll call you back. Because he was small. And he looked at him in his broken frame. He goes, no. And Al Arbor goes, what? No? He goes, no, you guys told me you would give me a game. So he says, well, Guy, I can. You got all the guys. And he said, okay. He went home. Never played again. He went to Europe, and in Switzerland, he's one of the leading scorers.
He probably lit it up over there.
He passed
So he was a man of his word.
He was awesome.
He didn't say. So he said to them, "You got to give me the preseason game you promised me." Probably just because he just like, I want to show you what I could do.
Oh, he believed it. He would have. But I do remember him saying before he died, he goes, I kind of screwed that one up. I go, that was all Harbor. I go, you're not kidding. He was awesome. I love Guy. He's the one that taught me how to shoot.
Actually?
Yeah, we didn't do one-timers every day for a year. He was the best one-timer I'd ever seen. And we practiced it every day.
We should just talk about his junior team.
Oh
man, this is unbelievable.
Through the list.
I'm going home, Al. Okay.
See you guys.
That is so
I
funny.
wanted a preseason game.
Well, you grew up in Montreal. Obviously, you're kind of the hockey's ingrained in the culture there. So,
Yeah.
like, what was your upbringing like? Was it hockey in skates at like 2-3 years old? Like,
Yeah, I think I was 4.
Okay.
You know, we that's how we just started. We didn't have any money, so we went to a hockey school and then started playing, and then just kept playing. And I think I made double A with Vinny Danfus. Was like a young guy. Benoit Hogue, they played in the Islanders. They were playing around, and probably started making double A in Pee Wee. That's when it kind of took up. But I was always the guy that, you know, he can't skate. He's not going to make the team. And
You'd
I
been
would
hearing
make the
that.
team.
You forget the NHL. You'd been hearing that
Yeah.
when you were 10 and 11.
Yeah. They would say the same. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I remember asking my dad, like, you know, you got to ask someone. I'm like, am I really slow? He goes, he kind of gave me all I know, if the puck is loose, you seem to get there first. I go, all right.
Yeah.
That was it.
okay, so it wasn't pretty, but you got the job done.
Yeah. It wasn't pretty at all.
Did you try to improve it after all the criticism? Would you go to like power skating?
Every single year I did power skating because I knew that was the one thing I had to improve. And I didn't make midget AAA my first year. Then I got sent down in New City. I didn't make the double A. So they sent me. Well, it's not I didn't make double A. They just sent me right to double B in those days. So I started there and I finished the year in double A. And then the next year I made AAA. That was probably the moment that changed my career because I loved Gretzky then. So I would play center. And I get to this AAA team and Vinny Danfus was going to make the team. Benoit Hogue was, you know, they were ahead of me. And so the coach at the end, he goes, you had a really good camp. He goes, he says, I don't have room at center. He goes, would you play left wing? I'm like, yeah, I'd play goalie to play AAA, you know, so he kept me on the fourth line to start the year in AAA. But we had a coach, his name was Claude Terrien. He coached in junior major. He's just motivated. No system, nothing. And so we were just killing team because he was so good at motivating us. And because we're always leading 4-5-1 or so forth, the fourth line was playing. So, you know, when you're up in the fourth period. So after like 3-4 weekends, they put the leading score and Vinny Danfus was there, Benoit Hogue, but I was like, let's say 6 in the league. So then the next week, the left wing on the first line got hurt and I moved up.
Wow, that's what
was
happened.
the moment.
Wow.
Yeah. Then I got drafted junior. That's how it kind of happened. Yeah.
At that age, was like Vinny so advanced where like all of a sudden you find yourself in this new position? Was he saying, hey, go here, do this? Like, was he one of the guys that...
Well, Vinny was like a year younger, you know, so he was like a first year. So he was just really humble, but he was really good. He was really, really good at midget AAA. He was already big. He was almost the size of the NHL.
Did you step in right away and you were kind of lighting it up as a first liner? Like that was it pretty seamless?
Yeah. I ended up leading the team in scoring at the end of the year. And I can't remember. I think I got like 100 points or something like that.
Wow. And that's when you're like, whoa, maybe I could make something of this. Like
Well, no agents talked to me, you know, and no. So I remember I went to the draft in junior. I didn't know. One team had called me. So it was like the first pick was this guy, Jose Charbonneau, who played in Vancouver. The second was Stéphane Richer, I think. And then there was a third one. Then I went to the bathroom thinking like, you know, I don't know when it's going to, and I come out of the bathroom, I was fourth.
Really?
Oh, wow.
They picked me to go to Hall.
What a spot to land, though. They had a rich history even then, right?
No, they were real. They had been bad. They never passed the first round when I got there, and the only guy they had that was a really high end player was Sylvain Turgeon, Yeah.
Years,
Up to
probably.
that point, Hall never had much history.
So you guys were, I guess, the first ones then, because I remember like Max Talbot.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah.
They won the Memorial
Max
Cup.
was after. So
Yeah.
we were the first team that kind of changed the course. Pat Burns was our coach.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he was.
Right.
Yeah.
Wasn't he like a cop
Yeah.
there?
First year, he was an assistant coach. He had the big beard. And at one point, he grew his hair for a couple months. And then he left for about 2. He was doing undercover.
Yeah.
Undercover cop.
I think
Biker.
he was inside the Hells Angels.
Yeah.
And we were like,
Great.
we were so scared of him, even though he was the assistant coach. And the next year, he became the head coach. But we didn't, he's your coach. He was mean. He was tough. And he just made us play hard. But I remember after a game, he'd go, okay, there was only 2 bars in Hull. He goes, what bar are you going? We're going there. He goes, don't go to that one. And we'd be like, because he was only 29. He was going out as much as us. Yeah. So we couldn't go to his bar.
That's and you guys were all like, I guess 18's the drinking age there, right?
Yeah,
So you guys
yeah.
were all boozing after game. That was kind of
Yeah.
the culture then too,
Yeah,
right?
it was. That's what it was. I mean, we'd play Tuesday night and Sunday night. Wasn't a lot of people in the bars, but we'd
Because
be
you
there.
can't play guilty if you're only playing the Sunday game. You can't
Yeah.
go Saturday. Maybe Friday though.
Friday night, if we didn't play on the road, you could go. There was a couple bars.
It was Burnsy a X and O's guy too, or is he a motivator as well?
Just motivate.
Yeah.
Just like Burnsy would just like, hey, you win tonight, we're going out.
Yeah.
We're going out. Like it was like that was his big
different bars.
motivation.
So
He
your
was the
2
best.
coaches before
Yeah.
that, so you had to learn on the fly pretty much.
We had to learn to fly, and then Burnsy would come in. He would talk to a lot of coach before that. Like you got to give him credit. He was always talking to NHL guys, and he was reaching out to learn. And he'd come in and try new system with us. But looking back, it was just you got to go. If you didn't play for Burnsy, you just didn't play.
It feels like a Mighty Ducks script. I feel like we should make a movie out of Pat Burns' life. The fact that
Yeah.
he's an undercover cop.
Yeah.
He somehow weasels his way into the Hells Angels where they think he's one of them. That was how it was.
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
And then so after that, there was never any trouble or weird instances when he was your coach of like any of that past?
No, with us, but we knew he knew everyone in town. It's a small town and all, so we knew we couldn't do anything. He knew everything.
Okay.
It was so he was my coach my last 2 years in junior. So the last year we went to the finals, and then he was one more year. Then he went to Montreal. It wasn't long for him. It was like 3 years, coach junior. That's it.
But your draft too, I'm looking at, like that was Mario's year. So
Yeah.
you grew up and he was around. Like you
Yeah.
always knew about him. Were you playing against him when you were younger?
No, because we're the same age, but he was born in September, so he was a year ahead. Always
For the hockey birthdays.
Yeah. So like he made junior. So at 16, he played in Laval, and I lived next to it. So every Monday night I went to see Mary with my dad.
And it was that
must have
incredible.
been-
That
then.
was unreal. Like the smoke in the building.
Oh.
Yeah.
People singing the steps. Mary.
People just
Junior.
hacking darts, you mean?
Yeah. Just everyone smoking. It's Quebec. Everybody smoking, And then the next year when he was 17, Patty LaFontaine came. He was in Verdun. So Patty's game were Sunday night and Mary Monday. So midget Tripoli was Sunday afternoon. Then I go see Patty on Sunday, then Mary on Monday. And those 2 guys that were, toe to toe on the leading scorer. And then the next year, Mary had to come back. That was my first year junior. That was.
So you played against him the year he had like 260 points, whatever it was.
He didn't even try until in the third most games. I remember we played in Hall. We had a terrible team my first year, and Mary was coming. That was our biggest crowd, and we were like pumped. We were a bunch of kids, and he comes in, and after the first, I think we were up 1-0, and in the second we're up 2-1, and we're like, we got them. The crowd's going nuts. And Mary was maybe at 60 games with a point every game, and he had a record to beat. So he was a little nervous. I mean, Mary Lemieux nervous. It's hard to see, but he looked like he was thinking a little bit. And I'll never forget, he chips it out of his zone, and his winger just goes all the way down and scores. And Mario showed a little emotion. He kind of stepped. We're like, oh, shit.
Oh, no.
He ended up with like 2-2. We lost 7-2. It was over. I mean, it was like unbelievable. Like the minute you go, oh, okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
And then the story about that year is we all laughed because we all felt he would only play in the third, like that year, because he was bored. But the last game of the year, he needed a certain record of goals and points to beat Guy Lafleur.
We were talking about this.
And he got 11 points that game. And if you go back, the opening faceoff, he put it through the guy's legs, split the D, and I think roofed it. And we said, that's the only game he played 60 minutes that year. He got 11 points. 11.
That's crazy, man. So that's the most dominant you've ever seen someone on an ice surface?
Anyone.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Well, one of the questions I was going to ask you is like growing up there, I feel like these like famous hockey guys are revered as like gods, right?
Yeah.
So were you hockey obsessed growing up to the point where you were watching them on TV and like all of them? Like the Rocket Richard, all this?
Well, oh, come on, I'm too young for the Rocket. No, we thought it was normal in Montreal. Like, I was like 10 years old and they won 4 years in a row. I thought that was just normal. They just won every year. Like the Bruins are the bad guys, but Montreal always win. We thought it was normal. Like, you didn't realize. But then I do remember seeing Gretzky my first time, 79, I think. He was 18. When I saw Gretzky, it just was so different. That was unbelievable. Because Guy Lafleur was end to end, but for me to see anybody that's had a chance to see Gretz in Edmonton, I was like,
just like thinking the game.
And he was working so much harder. He looked like he was working harder than everyone else because he was always moving. No one had ever played that way. So,
and then you being a late bloomer a little bit, you're saying like 5 years later, you'd be drafted the first time you see him, and then you're playing with him years later. It's like you must pinch yourself.
He bought our junior team the last year.
Yeah, Hall.
He bought Hall.
Yeah, he was owner of
my last year junior. He bought the team, and I remember he came in the room and he shook.
That's how I heard the Pat Burns story, where he's like, he was a cop that used to hang out in the concourse, and he all the guys who talk shop up there, like he just word spread that this guy kind of knows what he's talking about, and like. And then Gretz was the owner of the team.
Why would he? What made him buy that?
So I don't know. He was in Edmonton, and his dad knew this guy Charlie Henry. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him. He was well known in hockey in Ontario and around Ottawa. And Charlie was best friends with Walter. And when Gretz bought the team, Charlie was our GM.
Oh,
and that's how this came about. And then we switched the jersey colors to the Raiders colors because Gretz loved the Raiders, the Kings colors. Yeah. We used to be blue and gold, and then we were like, we're the Gretzky boys. We had hats, the Gretzky boys that year.
Wow,
actually, custom hats.
Would he be around? Was he around at all? Maybe
he came around. Like during the training camp, I think. Like you had the beginning of season for them. He came to see a game. We all shook his hand in the room. And then the next night, he got us all tickets to go see the game in Montreal. It was a preseason game. We were like...
And he said back then, he goes, fuck, I wasn't getting those games off. Like, I would be playing 10, 12 preseason games.
Oh, he was throwing the game.
Just give one to the guy on the Islanders, for Christ's sake.
Give him the gi.
So you said, it was kind of like when we saw McDavid come on the scene where you said it just looked like he was working that much harder. Was he also faster than everyone too?
He was quicker. Like people forget, like Gretz was really quick. Like, his skating, it was different. Like, because he would stop up. Everybody knew he was going to stop up on the hash mark.
The late guy.
But he would step back towards the blue line. So like he was the only guy that's ever done that in those days. So the D would stop and he'd be away, and then he was the first guy to find guys coming behind. I know Koff was fast and all that, but he found everybody. It was unbelievable.
So when he stopped up, he would work back to open up that passing lane again, where defense were just normally it's like they would just stop when that guy stopped and they put their stick there and they would just try to make the play. He would just get back, slosh it back over.
And his stop was always like a turn, almost like a stop turn. But he was always moving against the grain. I was like, even when he came in LA, I remember watching him. Like I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do any. And I'm like, I could maybe do this one thing that he's doing because you're trying to learn, but he was, to me, that was sick.
What about the behind the net stuff? Were you guys marveling at like we've never really seen somebody utilize the back of the net that way?
Yeah, no one had ever seen it and no one knew how to handle it. I remember my first 2 years we'd play against Gretzky and the coach would say, don't chase him. If you don't chase him, he's just going to pick you apart at any time. You might as well chase him and hope. Like Jacques Lemaire, we always knew whenever we play against Jacques Lemaire had the rule, don't chase Gretzky. Gretz for sure got 3 points against Jacques Lemaire. Even though he was the best defensive coach in the game. Yeah, the Gretz for sure picked him up. There's a clip. I think Jacques was the coach, but Montreal never chased him behind the net, and I knew that. And we were in overtime. It wasn't Jacques Lemaire, but they didn't chase him. And if you see me, I think I was with the Rangers with Gretz. I literally go to Gretz, wait, I'm in front of it. I go all the way outside the zone because, if you go outside the zone and I come right down the middle and he feeds me and I put it in, it was game over.
That is so funny.
It was in Montreal. I literally, I remember, I put my hand up to tell him to wait.
So the D-men are basically like near the goal line and they're just standing there.
Yeah.
Looking at each other.
He would wait forever because he was going to pick apart the guy.
He's finding a passing lane.
But in the 80s, I think when he was in Edmonton, like it's unbelievable. No one knew what to do with him.
It's also I feel like the tape studying wasn't really there, right? So it's almost like you would hear about like how other teams, it would be like through the grapevine, right? Like the William Wallace, like I heard he's 7 feet tall and like this is how you're supposed to defend it. Like you guys weren't watching video, were you?
It's funny you say that because my first year, we make the playoffs, and I think we won 9 games at home. The Kings year, it was 21 team. It was easy to make the playoffs then, and we're playing the Oilers, and in those days it was back to back in Edmonton and back to back in LA. So I think it was Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So we go there on Wednesday, and we win the game somehow. And then, so you wake up in the morning, there's no skates because we're playing again. I remember the headline, the Oilers are, this is 87. They won the cup that year. They had lost the year before. They're choking. They're just ripping them. I'm like, we're all like,
oh no,
this is going to be
Hopefully
bad.
Wayne doesn't read
So we go that night and we got creamed 13-2. I think Gretz got 8 points.
Okay.
I remember in the third with about 12 minutes left, the glass broke and Mike Murphy was our coach. And we're skating around the glass and the referee goes, it's going to take a few minutes. And Mike Murphy goes, can you just let the clock run?
In the game.
And then the best one was Mark Hardy. It's like 12-2 at the time, and we're just kind of skating because it's taken so long. And Mark Hardy, we had Bob Bourne, who had won 4 cups with the Islanders, who's playing with us now. At the end of his career, he's down 12-2. The poor guy is just skating on the ice, going slow. Mark Hardy goes to him, like dead serious. He goes, hey, Bobby, on the third goal, what happened? And like he's dead serious. Poor Bob's like
9 goals.
We're laughing because we got 1 win. We're happy.
What were you thinking on that pinch on the third goal?
That's when he goes over to the broken glass, puts 1 foot over, just walks up the concourse.
My career is done.
You never see him again.
I quit.
That is so fucking funny.
Oh my God.
Anyway, we lost in 5. We had to fly back to Edmonton. Commercial. That's what sucked.
That is so good. So actually, Jans brought this up in the car. You lived with Marcel Dion your first year with LA.
Yeah.
Wow, that must have been crazy.
It was pretty wild because what happened, it was Jimmy Carson, Steve Duchesne, myself. We all made the team at the same time. So in those days, we came to LA, and then they put the rookies there was an old hotel right next to the Forum. It was called the Airport Park Hotel. And then it was the racetrack, that's where SoFi is now. And And we got there and they said, listen, don't go out at night. Like, I'm from Quebec. We don't know anything, you know, we just barely speak English. It still does, but, and so we're in the hotel. We don't know anything. And it's a bad hotel. And we're staying there and they said, don't go out at night. We're like, really? Like, why? And then, you know, you're from Quebec. I've never seen grills on the storefront and stuff like that. So we're kind of scared. We don't go anywhere. So after 2 days, Marcel went, I think we played a preseason game at home. Marcel went to Rogie, our GM, and he said, hey, are these kids gonna make the team? Because we were scoring goals in preseason. It was like, I think we had 11 games, or the last 2 were in LA. So I think we had played the Canucks like 5 or 6 times because we had camp in Victoria. So to save money, we play the Canucks in Victoria, 1 game in Duncan, 1 game in Nanaimo, 1 game in Vancouver. We took the boat, so that's 4. Then we played them in Seattle. And you know, when you're a rookie, no one knows you. And, you know, I was trying to make the team. So we're like scoring every game. I remember by game 3, Garth Butcher like had me lined up. This kid's not, I wasn't surprising him already. So we played them 5 times. But anyway, so we get in LA and Marcel went to them and he says, if he's going to make the team, I'll find a place. So Jimmy Carson lived across the street with a neighbor that he knew. I live at Marcel. And then Steve Deshay was about a mile away. He took care of us. That was awesome.
What a vet. That was in Inglewood, right? Where you guys were staying? So we
were in Inglewood. That's where we're staying. But Marcel lived in Palos Verdes. So we're all 3 of us went to PV Palos Verdes. And the deal was Marcel wanted me to help teach his kids to speak French.
Oh.
But they were helping me speak English. I did never learn to speak French, the poor kids.
He's a guy that I feel like not enough people know about how great he was, right?
Yeah.
He was out in LA and it was the beginning of hockey out here.
Yeah.
But what was his game like? Like if you describe him now?
Well, in those days, like at 35 seemed so old and he was still doing that thing where he showed up at camp to get in shape.
Oh,
so like his pants, he had a little belly and his pants were really loose and it was it took 3 weeks to get him going, but he was really, really good. So Jimmy Carson played with Dave Taylor and I played with Marcel. So they made 2 lines. And I remember Marcel telling me, just go to the net. I'm going to put it at the goalie's pads. You'll get a rebound every time. And he never missed.
And you had 45 goals that year, your rookie year.
He was really, really good. Like as a small player, if you look back at the Kings, for them trading probably Butch Goring to the Islanders when Marcel Dionne and Butch Goring were there, if they would have kept Butch Goring and number 1, number 2 center, they might have been really good, in the next few years.
Oh,
yeah.
Even for
he was awesome, Mars.
For you, when you came, you were a 7th rounder, right? Like
9, yeah.
9th, right?
It doesn't even exist anymore.
Like, did you believe in yourself to even make that team? Like going into that camp, or did you have an idea that you could maybe even make the team?
Well, when I got drafted, I'm like, my name's on the list. They got to look at me. That's kind of the way I looked at it. I was like, all right, now it's up to me. So the first camp I went, in those days, you used to do, if you guys are too young, but in those days, it was like, we'd do like aerobic in the morning and then a practice and a scrimmage or 2 scrimmages. There were 3 teams. So the first day, I think I got like 3 goals in 2 games. I'm like, I'm going to make the team. Yeah. I didn't know where. I'm like, I'm going to make this team. Next day, I got a couple goals, a couple assists. I'm like, I'm making a team. So the 3rd day, they cut me. No preseason, nothing. I'm like, what happened? I didn't know. Like everything is made up before. So it was Peakin was the coach and Rogie. So they're sitting in a room. They go, yeah, had a really good camp, Logie. They kind of give you a story. And Peakin says, I'd like you to improve your skating. And he says, I'd like you to be, he had a cigar. I don't think it was lit up then, but he's like, I'd like you to be a little tougher. I'm like, okay. So I go back to junior and we had a couple tough guys. I go, you guys got to teach me, I got to fight. They're asking me. So we had a guy, his name was Mario Wallet, and I think Serge Robert. Remember him?
I remember the name.
He's still there. So anyway, they go, listen, look, here's what we'll do a favor. He goes, just grab the arm, squeeze a jersey, swing a little, and hug the guy, make it look good. He goes, well, we're all going to jump on the bench. I'm like, all right. He probably did that like 7-8 times in junior, and it looked all right. You know, I just like picked my spots, and
Picked the right
guys
guy.
always loved it. So the next year I come to camp in LA. It's in Victoria. And I get on there, and for some reason I was playing with Bernie Nichols, and Bernie was like, just kept feeding me. So I one time a couple, I got 2 goals, and I'm coming, I'm like, and then I'm thinking, they asked me to be tougher. I got to show them I'm tougher. There's no one in the stand except the scouts. I'm like, so this guy hits me, and you know, in hockey, you know when the guy's a little late, it's not right.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy hits me a little late, and he's bigger than me, and so I slash him, and I look at him, and I go, fuck you, and he looks at me, and he goes, no, kid, and he skates away. Now I'm more embarrassed, because I'm like, this is fucking total embarrassment. But I'm thinking, I might as well pick the biggest guy. If I lose, they'll say he's got guts, and if I win, they go,
No lose situation.
I'm going to shock him. So a couple shifts later, I keep watching him. I think he was a right-handed player, and he hits me, not as late, but this time I swung my stick as hard as I could at him. He turns around, so I drop my gloves, and I do exactly what I did in junior. Mistake number 1, you probably didn't do that, as I reach forward to grab him.
Oh, no.
And just as I grab his arm, he was a lefty. Bang, bang.
Oh.
Cut me here. And I remember I heard Bernie jump, go, stop, you're going to kill him. That's all I remember. And I'm on the ice. The trainer come, they drag me. Blood is straight. His name was Dan Brennan. He was a tough guy in the minors. I don't think he's ever played in the NHL. Fuck,
Yeah, beat up the wrong guy.
Pat Quinn's like,
He got me.
yes, that's what I
So
like.
then the next day, I go in the room. They cut me again, and I go in the room. Not even a preseason game, nothing. And I come in the room. My eyes. It was 25. It was 13 and 12.
Oh.
And it's like he got me really good. I come in and they're opening the book. They go to my page, and Rogie goes, we just want you to keep improving your skating. So Dave Taylor said I taught him a lesson. They never asked me to be tough again. So that was it. I think,
Thanks, Pat.
and then Dave Taylor said Dan Brennan retired after that. He was scared to hurt more guys.
No. Fuck. That was so good.
You were told about the skating so often. You had to be like, I'm producing though, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they keep bringing it up, but I keep producing.
I didn't look at it. I just kept trying to improve it.
That's awesome.
I remember being at camp, even in LA, and you know, in those days it was all older guys, and you know, you go blue line to all the way to the end and back, and when everybody would kind of slow down, I would fucking sprint to the end.
So you did good in those.
I'll finish first. Like I didn't give a fuck. I was like, I'm making this team.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't care. I kept trying to finish first all the time.
You mentioned about how it was Dion who said, just go to the net, I'll find
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
Were you always a good net front guy? Like, were you able to take the punishment there? Like,
No. So I'll tell you how I ended up being the front net. So my first 2 year in the NHL, because in junior, I love Gretz. So I was a playmaker. Like, even though I scored goals, it's the Quebec League. Everybody scored goals. No, but Guy Rouleau, my center got 90 goals. I got like 130 assists. Like, because I played with him, I kept feeding him. So I was a pass first guy. And then when I got to the NHL, even though Marcel told me to go to the net, I said, okay. But he was right-handed, and then Jimmy Carson was right. So I really played the half wall on the PP my first and second year. Then Gretz comes. So they say, okay, Gretz is on the first power play. So I would take Gretz on a change.
Oh, no.
Well,
They were either scoring
he's
or
on
he
the
wasn't
power
changing.
play. He's the best. He's 200 points a year. The odds are he's scoring every power play first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he's not scoring on the power play, he's staying 2 minutes. He's Wayne Gretzky. He should, you know. So I basically would jump the last 20 seconds or whatever. So later, I think it was the next year because Tom Webster was our coach. Maybe the first 8-10 games I didn't have. Maybe I had a couple goals. So Rogie Vachon calls me in his office because I was still the youngest guy because we had John Tonelli, Larry Robinson. When we got Gretz, we kept trying to get guys to help us win. So Rogie goes, I know you're having a tough time, but you're young. He's trying to give me a pep talk. Just keep working hard, go to net, you'll be okay. And he goes, I get it. You're not playing on a power play. He goes, it's kind of hard. You're taking Gretz. He goes, I wish you were a front of the net guy. He goes, and I look at him and I fucking lied like everything. I go, I could play the front of the net. He goes, you can? I go, yeah. I go, I played junior my whole career to front of the net. He goes, you did? I go, yeah. My whole career. He goes, okay. I get on the ice like for practice like an hour later, and Tom Webster skates by me. He goes, you played the front of the net in junior? I go, yeah. He goes, all right, we'll put you in front. And I fucking the rest of my career played the front of the net. That's all. But I just want to get on the ice with Gretz.
Make it till you make it.
Really, I'm like, the practice sucked in front of the net, but in the game, it was awesome.
Move around a little
so
bit.
So that's literally, I swear to God, that's how I ended up in front of the net for my career.
You should have been your own agent. That is crazy.
There's no video of Junior.
Right.
They're not going to go check it out.
Just on the spot when you were
on the spot. I'm like, fuck, I got to get on that.
All of a sudden, he's not tipping anything. They're like, dude.
So did you start working on your tips and stuff in practice?
But I didn't know. When I was bored as a kid, I would play tennis with a hockey stick against a wall. So I would just try to hit 100 times. So I was pretty good at tipping, but I started like I put guys at the blue line just shoot and I would never try to tip him in front of him. I would try to stop him in practice.
Shoot. Wow.
Because I figured if I could stop in practice, I'm going to somehow hit it. So, it was every day I had to work at it.
And back then, I feel like the D-men, they would legit keep their shots along the ice. Most of the time, no? More so than now? Or am I crazy?
Yeah, but what made it easy is the D played behind us. Like the D would cross-check you.
Yeah, now they
from behind. Now they front you. Like Pronger and McKinnis were the first two that started playing in front. They would start blocking. Mm-hmm. That changed everything. In those days, they were behind. So if you timed it right, you were always able to get some room in front. If you tipped it, you took the cross-check after right away. But if I timed it right, I was able to get there, tip it, then take the beating.
Unreal.
What was the excitement level like when Gretz came? Like, it was so crazy, and like interviewing Wayne about it, it's really cool to hear how it went down. But for you and the guys here, it's like, oh my God, like we
couldn't. Gretz does. I don't think Gretz knows that, but in February of that year, like Gretz won the cup in Edmonton.
Right.
February that year, Bruce McNall, we had the All-Star game in St. Louis, and I was coming back, and my dad was on the plane, and he said, I think I got a chance of getting Gretzky. And we were like, you're like, oh yeah, all right, Bruce, we'll go to LA, and we're looking at things, and then right around that time, he was going to change the Kings colors, and it was going to be, if you look at this jersey and it's in black, everything was the same, but it was dark blue. Bruce McNall's color of his company was a very dark blue. Like I'm trying to see, like really dark. Like it was kind of cool, like really dark though, but all the same. So I look at it and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And he's like, what? And it was, I'm not sure it was that logo. I think it was just a crown. And I said, oh, that's really cool, Mr. McNall. But I said, you should see my junior team. I said, we had the same, but it was black. And I said, that was Gretzky changed it because he liked the Raiders. I just said that in January, not thinking anything.
Because you knew it.
And then when I won the All-Star game, they saw, somehow there was a film of it in junior, and Bruce saw it. But he was trying to get Gretz. I don't think Gretz knows that, but I think Bruce was like, if Gretzky designed those jersey in junior, it's the same jersey we had in junior, different logo.
Wow.
That 1 year only, that 1 year, before that, we were another color.
Right.
He's like, why the hell are you on the half?
So he says we're going to get Gretzky. I'm like, yeah, sure. And then July comes in, and he had said to me and Jimmy Carson, I think he had, but I think he had told Jimmy and myself, we're never trading you. like we were really young though, but we'd have to ask Jimmy 100%. But I remember, I think at some point Jimmy went to Bruce when there was a buzz internally for us that Gretz had a chance, and I think Jimmy went to Bruce and said, if Wayne comes, maybe I should get traded. Because,
Really?
Well, we had Bernie too, so he would have been a third line center. I think Jimmy Carson was really smart, cerebral smart. He was investing in stock at 18. I was like, what is that Compure? And he knew about Microsoft. I'm like, what is that?
Wow.
So, and I think Jimmy said it might be better for his career to be moved at the time.
Wow.
So then when we got Gretz, it was freaking
Like the crowd immediately different.
Superstar.
right away.
Everything.
Like it was, but McNall was so good at promoting. Like he made sure there was celebrities, and I think they had dinner before the game. Then Bruce would take him in our room before warm up, or many times between warm up and the game. Because if he knew the celebrity weren't staying after, he'd take him before. And then if they were there was always someone after the game. Something. It was a show. It was
even before though. You guys were like
before
doing
all the
meet and
time.
greets?
He would,
oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, he would just bring him in.
Wayne.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Like I remember he brought Stallone, and he's like, I brought Rocky to pump you up, and he's high fiving everyone.
That's pretty
and
sick.
He leaves the room. We're all like, he's really small. You're a dumb Canadian. That's all you.
Wasn't there a club in that arena that they all
there
hung
was a
out at?
farm club. So
Yeah.
Bruce had an area, like he had dinner with everyone, but everybody was coming. It was
John
unbelievable.
Candy.
Just like that, eh? Like before, it wasn't really like that. Even
No, there were a couple people that were celeb, like I think Glenn Fry. The Eagles were a hockey fan. They knew Marcel a few.
wow,
But when it was Gretz, we were like the Lakers.
wow.
Like the Lakers were starting to slide a little bit. Like they weren't doing as good. I can't remember. There was,
and all these
but
people,
we were
I
like
get
the
to see the
Lakers.
greatest hockey player to ever live.
There was
right?
like, and then Bruce had like Rose on the glass, and Ronald Reagan was coming. I mean,
Wow.
he had everyone coming. It was all about Gretz. And then we would do tour. Like, so the first year we go back to Victoria, and Gretz is like, what are we doing here?
Let's go to Vegas.
So then we ended up going to we went to Hull to have training camp 1 year, and then we would do a tour. So they would try to schedule the Rangers or Pittsburgh with Mario, and we would play Tampa Bay, Florida. We played like Cincinnati, other like Houston, Dallas. We would play like 7-8 games on the road.
Sell them all out.
It was it was sellouts. It was
grow
always
the
supposed to
game.
be Mario and Wayne, and they never really played against each other in preseason, but it was. And then, funny enough, all these new franchises came out of it. So I always say Wayne had everything to do with those. It probably would have happened, but it happened so fast after Wayne, like Anaheim, San Jose, Dallas, Phoenix, Miami. We played all those arenas, like with Wayne.
when they didn't have teams.
wow.
There was no one. We played, the baseball stadium. That was the biggest
The one in
crowd at the time
Tampa?
for a preseason game, though. We go to Miami against the Rangers. They told we took Kelly Rudy off the net because the ice was melting the goal crease. So they told, I can't remember who our second goal, they said, you got to play outside the crease in the third. And then Bruce comes in and goes, we're just going to do a continuous time. So they kept the clock going. And Gretz didn't play in the third.
Yeah,
we
you don't want to
get
injure
hurt.
the pony, that's for sure.
We couldn't believe, looking at things on the way down, that I would have thought it was like the second year Gretzky was in LA was the run to the final. But it was his fifth year.
5, yeah.
So like there was times where I'm sure you guys are like, Wayne's coming, we're going to win a cup. And then 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, some frustration probably grew.
I think it was probably slowly building in the right direction.
When
right?
we got Gretz, like Gretz due to what it took to win, he had won 4 by that time. So he made sure he got like Mike Krushelneski, and he got Marty.
Yeah.
And Charlie Huddy. We signed Charlie Huddy too from the Oilers. So right away we were, and then we signed Larry Robinson, John Tonelli, Steve Casper from the Bruins. Yep. So we were a good team, but I think we were probably missing something. So the first year we were down 3-1 against the Oilers and came back and beat them in Game 7. And then I think the next year, I can't remember. We beat maybe Vancouver, then we lost against the Oilers in 6 games, but Gretz was hurt. I think he got a shot on his ears. And then the Oilers won the cup that year.
Right.
Then the third year, I think the second year, my first year, Calgary was really good. They won the cup, or they had just won the cup or whatever.
Right, around that time.
Now, I can't remember who we lost. We might have lost against the Oilers again the third year. And
wow, it feels like this organization here has a lot of playoff history. Holy shit! Not to bring up the last.
No, I know. Thanks.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Luca.
Still a great run in 93.
All right, boys, I'm out of here. No, but you're right. And in the year we went to the finals, we thought Gretz might never play again. He got hurt. I think first day of camp. I mean, you guys got to ask Gretz when you see him, because this is the year we had camp in Lake Arrowhead, and Gretz was working out with Janet, and he was, and he comes to camp, and this is the first year he says he's in shape, because these guys always showed up to camp to get in shape.
Right.
So he said, I worked out all summer and everything. And then in those days, we used to do a push-up test, and it was like as many push-up with your thing. And I think they would stop you at 50 or 75. So I think Gretz did like 20. And he was like, that's it. He used to do like 2.
Right.
And then the setup test was like, they'd stop you at 75. And I think Gretz did 50 or so. He did a lot. And he comes, that's it. I'm in shape. The next day, he blew his back. And I remember him saying, that's the last time I'm working out. And then a helicopter came, and because it was in the mountain. And then we heard like, he might never play again. Apparently, with his back, he didn't play till January. He didn't come back till January.
Wow.
That year that you lost to Montreal, that was that year?
Yeah. So that year, Barry Melrose was our coach, and what people didn't know is we had Alex Zitnik as an 18-year-old, Daryl Sidor, and Rob Blake as a 21, 22. And those 3 young kids were unbelievable on D, and Kelly Rudin, and we had Charlie Huddy, Mark Hardy. We had a good D, and Marty obviously, and we came out of the gate really good, and then kind of went down, and Gretz came back, and you get one
such a
Gretzky
boost
on a good team. Yeah, we had a lot of speed, but it's amazing. Like, we thought he might not come back. We were told that. They weren't sure.
Unreal.
Scary.
And then I think he had like 45 points in the playoffs. It's unbelievable.
Light work.
That's ridiculous.
And then half a back.
So, like, what ended up happening towards the end of your first time here? Like, you ended up going over to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And you were there for 1 year. Unfortunately, you don't get to play with Mario because he was out, right, at the time. So, like, what happened? Was it a trade? Was it an off-season signing? Like,
well, I broke my ankle the year before. I think in January or February, I hit the wall, and my foot turned this way, but there were no x-rays or anything. So they said, I think you're okay. And they froze it a little bit. And then the doc said, keep your foot eye. I was kind of nuts. I kept my foot eye, so there was no swelling. So I missed a couple games, and then they shot it. We taped it, and I jump on the ice on the bench. I'm like, oh shit, that hurts. But I got to the slot. I get a pass, and at one time it goes in. So then everything's good. That the coach thinks you're great. Everything's okay. And I just kept playing. It kept getting worse and worse. But we kept shooting it, and then it healed wrong. And then I found out in the summer it was cracked. So that got better, but it didn't get better. Surgery, and then I got traded to Pittsburgh, and then it was a lockout though. You know what I screwed up though? Is like Mary was smart. He didn't do training camp, so he got paid. I did camp, and I had a bad ankle, and then I never got paid. I was dumb. I should have just said no.
Oh yeah, because if you that was
there was a few guys that were like, I'm hurt. Like I was like years like that was really dumb of me.
Yeah.
I missed a couple games.
Wait, if you didn't do camp,
because
you were out on
like
IR.
for instance,
we did the full camp.
Marian Hossa got hurt from that hit from Rafi Torres, and I believe that he was still like in concussion protocol when that quote unquote season would have started the following year when the lockout was.
yeah.
So you're still collecting your full salary.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, that was a huge advantage to guys who had off-season surgery.
Like the
that
big
year.
boy. The big boy
Where-
wasn't playing. He was getting
and-
paid.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you're
Well, he was an owner. He probably knew.
Yeah,
No, he wasn't an owner
Oh, he
then.
wasn't.
Later, he became
Yeah.
an owner
Yeah.
of what they owed him.
So what was your time like there? I mean, you got to play with Yager that much.
No, I was but we didn't play till January. When we came in, it was like 48 games in like 90 days. And that's really Yog's first year where he was the guy. That's his first, like he was really good. They had won the cup, but he was the kid. That year, it was
took over
unbelievable.
'cause
And then
Mario
Ronnie
wasn't-
Francis was on the team. Kevin Stevens got hurt. It was a really good
Get
team.
the neck, yeah.
We had Tommy Barrasso. That was
He was crazy,
freaky.
right?
I heard it wasn't he a silly guy? Like
I heard he was crazy.
I think he got mean sometimes.
He was really mean. Like, but I didn't know he was all right with me. But he got hurt, and we had Ken Reggett in net, who was just the greatest guy. And then Tommy comes back, and I had heard stories like, so you couldn't raise the puck in practice and not anything, and so we never practiced. So he was gonna do the morning skates and the warm up. Okay, so we get in the morning skates, and one guy hit him here, and he just skated off the ice. This was his first practice. I'm like, oh, fuck, what's going on here? And then we get in a warm-up in the game. You know, the second goalie, everybody tries top shelf, you know. Fucking Ken Reggett is our goalie, and we've been winning. We had a good team. Guys are trying Ken Reggett, top shelf, and then Tommy gets in net as the second goalie, and everybody's literally shooting on the ice. I'm like, what the fuck is
Reggett's
going
like,
on?
what the fuck,
Yeah,
guys?
I know.
Let me feel
So
a
he
puck.
came back, Tommy. I think he got hurt again. Kenny Reggett was our goalie, but it was funny. Like, it was funny to be on his team. That was a whole different thing. I'd
So
never
he
seen it.
so in the locker room, like he would snap, like there was some.
No, he just didn't say anything. No, guys were scared of him. They just didn't talk to him. The only guy that would kind of
Was he tough?
was on him is Alf Samuelson.
Oh yeah,
Alf Samuelson was
Alfie will
nuts.
give
He
it to
didn't care.
anyone,
Alfie
yeah.
would be all over him, play cards with him and rip him. He didn't care.
Hopefully,
But was Barrasso a tough guy? Was he tough?
No.
How would he just intimidate you by being an asshole?
I think
Goalie.
So yeah, he was just
Swing your stick.
Yeah, he would swing his stick, and it was just like there was a lot of non-negotiable. They had won the cup, so he could do anything he wants. So
Right.
he wanted to, so he just did it. Like we go there, and they were still in the Mary era, where no helmet in the morning skates and
No shoulder
and then
pads,
we
right?
I was playing with Mario with Yogs and Ron Francis, and we go, okay, 3-on-1. You know, you go 3-on-0, 3-on-1, and 3-on-2. And I remember we'd be going on the 3-on-0, and if the goal didn't go in, Yogs would stay and still playing. So Ron and I would go 2-on-1, and then we'd turn around to 3-on-3, and Yags would come back in the line. Ronnie would give him a long pass, go on a breakaway. That would be it. That's a drill. Like, and he'd have a sock on his head. Like, it's just like Eddie Johnson was our coach. Oh, it was awesome.
Just ran his show.
It was just like
funny because I played with Yogs later on, but there'd be a drill going down one end, and he would just be doing his own thing. His line mates would be looking for him, be like, "Yeah, no, somebody else jump in." He beat to his own drum.
He worked hard though.
Oh, worked his nuts
He would
off.
stay and do 3-on-3 after
Yep.
practice for an hour. He didn't care. He'd do weights on his legs
Yeah,
all the time.
sticks,
But it was
legs.
Interesting cat.
it was so fun. But it was the Marriott. We all. You guys weren't playing that, but we would go every team that went to Pittsburgh. We'd watch their mornings and go, "Wow, this is so cool." Mary would come in 10 minutes late, take a couple one time. Everyone was so relaxed. Then you go and lose 7-6. It was awesome. They didn't turn it on. You know, it was just a different team.
Biz, weren't you at training camp with him? And like the coach was like, "All right, we're bag skating." Mario was like, "No."
I think Eddie Oldchuck, it was his first year.
Yeah.
And he was coaching, and they'd played together, and and I was in his group, and I remember he was like, "Hey, great day. You had the scrimmage, you did the practice. We're gonna do a skate," and he was just like,
Yeah. Not today.
and I was like,
Good job,
"What?"
guys.
Like,
The big
the
boy.
player just told the coach we're not skating after, "Hey, great day, we're having a skate." Hey, this is fucking ridiculous. But like, I was so young and naive, like I just like didn't even know how big of a deal that
Yeah.
Mario was, right? Like he was just I was so nervous. I came around the net one drill. I passed to him, and I must have missed his tape by 15 feet. Start the drill over. I'm like, oh my God. Oh yeah. That was my. And then I asked him to go to lunch. And he's like, who the fuck is this idiot talking right now?
That's
right?
awesome.
So, yeah, no, I was a bit of a donkey, or a lot of a donkey. But so that was short lived. You were only there for that 1 year, and then it was off to New York for 2. So like, I mean, you played in some fucking awesome spots. What was that like?
For me, going to New York was great. It was because the lockout, like Howard Baldwin, there's like Tom Rich. I had the same agent as Mario, so they knew there was financial trouble, and Howard Baldwin was really cool. Like I had an arbitration case. In those days, we all had an option year. So after the lockout, you had the choice as a player to not take the option year and just end your contract, or take it. And because I had 8 years in a row with 40 goals, I had the best arbitration case. So Bob Goodenow was like, he didn't tell me, but with my agency, you should take the arbitration case.
Yeah.
So we filed for arbitration, and then Pittsburgh, Mary was coming back. So now I think the insurance wasn't kicking in. So it was kind of a little bit a money thing. So Howard was great. Like he was going to trade me to a good team. I remember that. He told me that. So it was the Rangers.
He promised, like, I'm not going to send you.
It promised. The 3 teams I had heard, funny enough, was Anaheim, Chicago, and Rangers. And it ended up being the Ranger, which I love New York. So it was awesome.
Signed a 2-year deal there?
No. So then I was I filed for arbitration. So I was going without a contract that summer. And I think I was 29. I was going to become a free agent. I was at 31 or 32.
Crazy.
So they kept trying to sign me for 4 years. And so we said, no, we'll just sign for 2, And then that was the battle. It wasn't. So then the last one said, well, fuck it. We asked for 6. And they said, well, in those days, no one signed for 6 years. So I got a 6-year deal with the Rangers.
Wow.
And then after 2 years, I didn't understand. When no one talks to you, I didn't understand my role with the team. Colin Campbell was a coach, and we got Gretz the next year. But I still never knew how to play. I was like, I don't want to be on the first line, but can I play more than let's say I was playing 13, 14 minutes. Can I get to 16? And let's say in LA, before that you had 18, 19 as a winger. So I was never going to play. So actually, Neil Smith sat down with me, and I remember telling Neil, I said, Neil, I love it. I love Leachy, Mess. They were great. I said, I just need to play a little bit more. I said, I'm not asking for a lot, just a little bit more, because we had Gravy, one of the best teammate ever, and he called me back in the summer. He goes, listen, he says, I talked to Cole. He's not going to play you more. so to this day, I ripped Coley Campbell, by the way. But so anyway, he came to me. He goes, but I know LA wants you back. He goes, I think I could make a trade there. And Kevin Stevens was there. We were 2 wingers, kind of the same stat scoring. So it was a 1-for-1. So that's how I got back to LA.
No shit.
That summer. Yeah.
Wow. So and once he told you that, you're like, oh, I'll go back there.
Yeah, I was okay with that. I wouldn't have had a choice, but it was respectful the way they did it. Like so people, I felt they treated me good. Coming out of Pittsburgh, same thing coming out of New York.
So you ended up finished that deal in LA.
Yeah.
6 years. Like, is it rude to ask you at that time? Was it like a revolutionary deal, not only in term, but like money?
Oh, the guys were dying in the Rangers. They were, Nick Kipper was dying. He goes, 6 years? Because in those days, it was all 2, 3, a 4-year deal was very long in those days.
And like, what was the AAV back?
It was 3-2. Wow. That was a lot.
So
40 goals for 8
over
years.
18 million.
Fair enough.
Yeah, 18, whatever.
That must have been one of the biggest contracts that the league had ever seen then.
Total
because
dollars.
Gretz had that like a big deal. Like in
outside
Mess
of him
had a big
and Lemieux,
deal, and
but like, who
Leachy.
signed a 6-year deal, 3.2
No one
per
signed
year?
for it. But guys were starting to sign for big money, and that 3-4 million. Like Holly was at 4, I think, in those days, and guys were. It was starting to
So
come
good
on.
for you though. Like you came up at a time where like if you were 10 years prior, like they
It was different,
They were kind of making peanuts. So you finally got, that must have been,
And then
But
by the
every
end of that,
era is the same. You know, you go back, like when a guy was making $300,000 in the 70s, most people were making 50, you know, so there's a difference though. It got higher between normal people but it's the same today. There's guys that are bitter, and I'm like, well, don't be bitter. Like we were lucky, we were treated good, but today's guys, it's
the way.
Another level.
Yeah,
you know?
I could see that.
I tell some of our kids, I go, you know, if you just hit the net all the time, you become a 30 goal scorer instead of 20, you're going to make $100 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like $100 million, you know? I mean, it's ridiculous. Think about that. I'm like, you know, if you just hit the net, you get the 30, and you do that 2-3, you'll make $100 million.
Yeah, I never really thought about it that way. Holy shit. I was kind of just happy getting 20. Oh my. So then that deal finally expires, and then like was Detroit on your list of teams to go to?
No, I thought I was resigning in LA. And I didn't know then, now that I'm on the other side and I get the business, they had internal budgets, and I thought I was signing in LA, and I ended up not signing. I got an offer the day before, and you know, I was 34 or 33 at the time, or 34 maybe. But I led the team in scoring, and we'd beaten Detroit in the playoffs. So I thought I was going to sign a 2 or 3 year deal. And let's say I was at 3-2. I thought I was going to get 4, you know, like a 2 or 3 year deal. And Dave Taylor was our GM. And I think he told me they'd offered me a little bit of a pay cut and on a 1 year deal. So my pride and my ego, you know, I was like, fuck that. Like, you know, I think I should. I wasn't asking for a lot, but so that was the day before free agency. So then I was like, okay, it was more. I thought they didn't want me, but I didn't know there's budget. You got to be accountable for someone. So I remember I said, I'm gone, and then I talked to Dave and I told him, I go, Dave, it doesn't matter at this point. If you don't know what I'm worth, I'm gone.
You were insulted a little bit.
Yeah, you know. But so the next day, I remember like my kids were enrolled at school. They were getting older. So I started talking to Pat Brisson, my agent, and I think Tom Rich was still alive in those days. Yeah. And I was looking to not live too far. So San Jose was coming up, and I thought I had a chance there. And then Dallas was pretty good. But they signed Adam Graves in San Jose. And then Pierre Turgeon, I think Donald Odette or someone else signed in Dallas. So then that day, Dominic Hasek got traded to Detroit. And I'm kind of on the phone, and I was at my father-in-law, and my wife says to me, she goes, why are you looking to say? I go, well, because it's close. We thought the first year she wasn't going to come with me. So I said, it's close, it'll be easier for you. So she said, well, who do you think is going to have the best team next year? So I said to her without thinking, I go, Detroit. She go, well, you guys just beat. I go, yeah, but they got Dominic Hasek. Yeah. No, they'll have the best team. She goes, well, why don't you try to go to Detroit? That literally, and I go, really? But it's far. She goes, it doesn't matter. It's 4 hours or an hour or 2 hours, it's the same. So Pat called Detroit, and I think they were trying to get Solani or someone else. Oh. And within an hour, I was there.
No shit.
Wow,
That's
2 year deal?
Crazy story.
Yeah, it was a 2 year deal. Yeah, within an hour, I was there, and then Holly went like maybe a month later.
Because I looking at your career, right? Like I would have guessed it was all right. Like I came to Pittsburgh after they won. I came to New York after they won. I won a cup. But you were more like, hey, I was willing to stay in LA, and it's your wife who said, hey, they're going to be good.
I thought we were really good. When we beat Detroit, we had Stumple at center, and I remember I met with our president, Tim Lawicki. He said, what do you think we did? I said, we need one more center. And JR was up that year, and I thought we were going to go get JR. I didn't know we were going to cut the budget. I'd be out. We had Adam Deadmarsh. We had Palfy. We had the cat Podvan in net. Like he was a great goalie, butterfly. But we were really good on D with Manny Nordstrom. Like we had traded Blakey, but it was a tough trade for all of us because he was our leader. But you get what's his name, Miller from Colorado.
Kevin Miller?
Kevin Miller. Not Kevin.
Kip Miller?
Huh?
Not Kip.
No, the defenseman. He was really good. God, he's going to be mad at me.
Ozelinch?
No, it was Miller. It was a defenseman, a right-handed defenseman, like a stay-at-home defense. And Adam Denmarsh, and we got a first pick for Rob Blake. So you get Denmarsh and a really good 4 defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
You're never replacing Rob
No.
Blake. And
You had to diversify a little bit. Tough trade, but you had to make it.
So I thought we were really good.
Gary Miller?
Aaron Miller, that's
Miller.
it. Sorry, Aaron. But I was, and I thought if we could get a second line center, we had Ian LaPerriere on our team. Lappy was tough, understood his role. We had a lot of good role players.
Don't feel bad. I called Nick Luke today,
We did.
one of our guys here. Sometimes my brain just cuts out.
Speaking of money being crazy, that was the year Hasek had, if they won the cup, he had $1 million bonus. And I remember this, everyone's like, this is insane. You guys won it. And it was discussed, like $1 million he's
Well,
getting
we
if
were
they won it.
joking last year, up to a few years ago, that team's salary was like $85 million.
Yeah.
That was the cap 2 years ago. There were teams at 20.
I know.
So they had no problem paying you either. So you got your number and your 2 years?
Yeah. And I think Stevie and Shanny at some point, Ken called them. They deferred some money to help the budget.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think Shanny, Stevie, I think these guys did. I remember hearing that.
I met you
So-
that year in the Cup Finals because we had the draft prospects come to the game. And the thing I remember most was Yzerman, he could not pregame skate.
No.
He was limping. He was getting treatment when we got to meet him. And then like guys were saying like look, guys from the NHL that were bringing us around like it's insane he's playing.
He didn't practice from the Olympics on. And then they would freeze him and he would get in a warm-up. It was funny because he was all taped up and he could barely move around. And then when the tape loosened up and the way they froze him, but it would only kick in at game time. So in the warm-up, guys on the other team would be looking, what the fuck? Like if he'd go to stretch, he couldn't get up. He'd have to put his stick down and then try to get up because he was taped up. So it was like,
He's skating like Robitaille. What the hell's going on?
I was blown by him. It wasn't even close in the warm-up. I go around him.
So he did this for,
It was
for
unbelievable.
half a season, basically.
Yeah.
Including
From the Olympics on, it was Steve was unbelievable. Yeah.
Just
Well,
to
what-
see that in the locker room, guys must have been like, we've got to win this for fucking Captain doing that.
Yeah, he just like he was awesome though. He like Mess, great lady, obviously Gratz, and Stevie was he didn't speak a lot. He did one for me that I remember. He did 1, 2. I think it was only 2 speeches. So you guys are gonna like it. So I gotta tell you a couple Scotty Bowman stories.
Oh,
Because
buddy,
I'm
tell
like,
us anyone you want.
I'm in LA. We're like Scotty Bowman. Like I'm from Montreal. My dad loves Scotty Bowman. So I get to Detroit and I'm like Scotty Bowman. So he sees me in the hallway. He goes, hey, Luke. You like it? You like it here? You like to play golf? You like to play golf? I'm like, fuck, that's really weird. That's how Scotty talks off the ice. You know, he's like, you like it? I go, yeah. He goes, there's some good tracks you got to go. We had camp in Traverse City.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. Never says another word. He never comes on the ice the first week of camp. At one point, he comes by the board and he used to abuse Barry Smith. And he goes, Barry, come here. And we would only do the veterans on the ice. And he goes, I don't want to see anybody get hurt here. He goes, if you're doing, he's yelling at the coach, word there. If I see anybody get hurt, it's your fault. You're out of here, to Barry Smith. So he said, no stopping. So every skating drill, we weren't allowed to stop at camp.
That's the dream.
And we're all laughing, and Holly's just dying, just laughing, you know, like we had Chelly and these guys, and we're just ripping Barry Smith. We're not stopping anywhere. It's awesome. But I do recall him saying, because we're going to play till June. So right away, he said that in September. So I'm like, oh, that's his message, you know. So then we start the year, and he says, he doesn't explain it, but we read in the paper that we're going to do a new system. They used to play the left wing lock, Detroit. Everybody knew that, but they were really, really good at it. So it was going to be like a V, and we're all joking. It's going to be the Mighty Ducks, like a flying V. But no one could understand it because it was like a 1-2-2 in the offensive zone, but we can't figure it out. So as the game would go and the puck would end up on our right side and the left side, we were supposed to do a V and cut the ice, but fucking puck would end up on the left side and there'd be a breakaway. So we'd give up 2-3 breakaways a game, but we had Dominic Hasek. So we'd stop him and we'd win a few and lose a few. And next thing you know, I think Holly and Stevie and some of the rest, they said, listen, we don't even know what we're doing. And they were like, we're not a pressure. They kept wanting us to chip it in. And Holly, like, we're not gonna chip it in. He goes, here's what we'll do. Let's play the trap like in Dallas. He goes, we'll just get the puck. We'll never give it back. That's how he pitched it. So Stevie and Barry Smith, and I don't know how they did it, but somehow they came and one day they said, okay, we're gonna play the trap. When we get the puck, we're just not gonna give it back. That was our system, basically. So we go to Edmonton, and it's one of those western trip. So we go to Edmonton, and we're there early, so we're practicing, and Scotty's not on the ice, and the guys are like, look at Scotty. I look up, he's got the newspaper. He's not watching. They're like, he hates the trap. It's not his idea, so he hates the trap. So we're practicing, they're all laughing, and we're doing the trap, and he hates the fucking. So then we win, let's say 4-1. Next day we're in Calgary, we're practicing, the game is after. Not on the ice, got the newspapers, not looking. So we win like 5 in a row. Then he comes on the ice, because now the trap works. But guys, that's how we started with the trap.
He didn't want to be associated with it.
He hated the trap because it was like every team did it, but it worked. so
Wow, that's what kind of the guys came up with that in the locker room.
It was the guys. Maybe with Barry Smith, Dave Lewis, but I don't know how it happened, but we started playing the trap. We're like, we're just going to give it to Nick Lidstrom. He'll fucking find a way. He'll find us.
No shit.
And Datsuk was like fourth line, right?
Datsuk was our fourth line player, and we were like, holy shit.
You could tell.
Good. Oh my God. It wasn't even close. We'd never seen, he would do shit on the ice we'd never seen. I remember he's a rookie. Maybe that's his 5th game. The puck is for some reason, the puck is at the red line at center ice, but it's standing up. And the D's come in to just poke it, and the kid's standing still. He chops it, and the guy's stick goes over. He fucking flips it down and goes 3-on-2. And Holly goes, I want to play with this guy.
The magic man.
And at one point, they put a line, Stevie, Holly, and me. So we all had 600 goals. So everybody's laughing, so we go on a run. We win 8 in a row. I get 8 goals in a row. But Holly's only got a couple goals. He's got a bunch of assists because I keep picking up his rebounds. And Stevie, we just get game 7, Holly gets on the main. He goes, fucking Stevie can't pass the puck. Everything is like this. And he's telling me that. Then he looks at me and goes, why the fuck am I telling you that for? You never even thought of passing the puck. And I'm like, I think the line's pretty good.
He hated assist.
He was great.
Oh my God. What a team that must have been.
He kind of reminds you of Phil Kessel from the stories you hear about him. Like the perfect guy where maybe not the leader, but just crack the jokes, get the job done.
He was so...
And he's going to score.
And he was going to score a goal.
So anyway, so Stevie's story was, we're opening night in San Jose. We haven't seen Scotty, and we go to San Jose. And the year before, Detroit lost a bunch of leads. We beat them in the playoffs. They lost leads. They were up 3-0. So we're up 3-0 against San Jose. In San Jose, they were not really good. And we tied it. No, we're up. They tied it in the 3rd. So now it's the buzzer, and we're going to overtime. And Scotty goes, hey, Stevie, bring everybody here. I'm like, oh, fuck, this is it. This is the first speech from Scotty Bowman. And Scotty goes, Stevie, we're gonna miss the fucking curfew. We're gonna miss the fucking. Remember in San Jose,
you
the
go
curfew.
fly out
We're gonna
after
miss the
12,
fucking curfew.
yeah.
What are you guys doing? We're gonna miss the fucking curfew. Barry, we're not gonna make the curfew. We're gonna this after 9/11 too. We got all the security. This is the year.
yeah.
He goes, what all the security? We're not gonna make a curfew. Then he go, man. We go. We're going to overtime. We win 4-3. So now we tap and we go in the room and guys are getting undressed. We kind of know we have to hurry, and Stevie goes, "Hey guys, stop a second." So we all stop. He goes, "Listen, this is all we lost last year. We can't blow leads anymore. From now on, if we're up, it's over. If we're up in the third, we got to fucking, I'll dig in. It's over." And all you can hear in the hallway in San Jose, you know, they go like, you can hear, a meeting, a fucking meeting. We're going to miss a curfew. And Stevie go, oh, fuck.
He just wanted out of there.
He wouldn't face Stevie though. He's like on the other, but he's yelling. So and we're all laughing while Stevie is trying to talk to us.
So you guys coached that team.
Yeah,
seriously.
He did though. Scotty's the best bench coach I've ever seen.
Dive into that because we've had guys talk about it before. He just like knew how to manipulate whatever they were doing, or
like he didn't talk to guys. He only talked to Datsuk, who didn't speak English that year. So it was the funniest thing because he, on purpose, you'd be coming off the ice and after practice, he'd be, "So you like it here, Pavel?" And Pavel, yeah. And we'd all laugh. We'd walk by and guys like, he's fucking talking to one guy that doesn't speak English. You know, he wouldn't talk to anybody. It was awesome.
this is ridiculous.
Datsuk's like, why? What is going on right now?
But it was kind of funny. And Stevie said, he's talked to my kids more than me. How he had been there for 15 years or whatever. Like he had all the guys had these stories, but he just knew how to give you a role without talking. You know, some coach will say that's your role, but with Scott, people will say, "Well, that was a great team," but he still he didn't do like I'll give you. I remember there was a game where Chris Draper, that year he had 20 goals. But he was the grind line.
Mm-hmm.
It was, you know, and he never put him on the power play. And you were going to say, well, you got all the great players, you know, so he had to figure it out. But he made sure everybody got enough ice time to feel important on the team. And you all felt you had your role. But I do remember there was a game where up, let's say 5-2, and Drapes got 2 goals. And there's a commercial. Remember it was those days, the commercial were starting to so there's 5 minutes left. We have a power play. And he's on the ice. He's drinking. We're like, "Drapes, you gotta go get your hat trick." And Scotty's like, we're going like this, and then it's time to go back. And we're like, Stevie, the guys, we want Drapes to go get his hat trick. Scotty goes, "Get the fuck off the ice. You're on the PK. That's it." So it was like his message, no. You're never getting on the power play. This team, it's Hall, it's Shannon. Like, those are my part. And basically his message, if we're up 5-2, I'm not putting fucking Robitaille on the PK.
Right.
You know that?
Yeah,
so
I'm
it was
not
kind of
switching it.
interesting to me because that was the first time I'd ever seen that. It was like, okay, that's not your role. It'll never be your role for me to win the cup. You're right.
Yeah.
And poor Drapes went out there. We're all laughing.
The whole team, it was like Rudy handing him the jerseys.
We wanted him to get his hat trick, but never got. He never went out there.
That is fucking awesome. Were you even intimidated by Yzerman just because he was so stoic?
No, Stevie's funny. I don't know if you know.
We don't
he's
know.
He's got a great sense of humor. He's got great one-liners. And so I sat next to him in the room. He's awesome.
Once the game was over and you were on the bus and you won, he was able to then
Well, even during the game, he would make fun of himself. He didn't speak loud in the room, but when he got up or he said something, it was that was his team. It wasn't even close. He was the leader, but he's really funny. Wow. He's like most hockey players, but he's got a great little one-liners.
We'd love to get him on at some point. I don't know if
he's too serious now. Now he's really serious though.
Yeah, we try to joke.
Biz tries to loosen him up.
I gotta loosen him up.
I try to loosen him up on TNT a little bit.
He doesn't like that. I don't
No. Hates my guts. We never really talked about your relationship with Mess when you played in New York. You're so good at describing these legends. He must have been a fun guy to be around. Always liked to go out after games, right? And
yeah, he's probably one of the best leaders. I use him you think of corporation or something, a leader. Like what surprised me though, he was never mad. You know, like he was the most positive guy I've ever seen in a room. Like he was awesome. Like, because I live in the city, so I would drive with him or Kevin Lowe, and these guys were nuts. They want to win everything. Like even in the car, they would race. Like they were nuts. And but Mess, like he was the king of New York. I mean, he said we're gonna win, and he won. But I remember in the room, you either were part of Mess's team or you were out. So if you didn't complain, you know, there's guys like Wines on the bench or something. As long as you played hard, you were part of his team. But if you complained, you cheated the game or something, you didn't say it, you didn't do anything about it, but the way he treated people, you were like, this guy's not on the team.
You could tell.
You could tell. Next thing you know, it was traded or something. It was out. But you felt if you worked hard, you were honest, you were on Mess's team, and it was unreal. But he just was always positive. The only thing that was hard is he changed skates every period, so you couldn't get your skate sharpened. You ever hear the stories? Like
I heard he
would change the rivets, he would change the blades on his skate. Like he
really,
but he's the greatest skater in the game. So he would take his skates off after warm up, and he would line them up, and he would make a mark on the front, and he'd go to trainer. He'd have to take the whole blade out, drill new holes, and reset his blades. And he did that almost every game. And in those days, he was the only guy I'd ever seen that would wear a new pair every day, you know?
Right out of the box?
Right out of the box. In 1990, this is like 96, 95.
Those were
It was unbelievable.
But he was
But he was so positive. Like in the room, if you were in his group, you were in his group. There was an aura about him. He just believed into winning. It was fucking. But then he was a little bit older then, but you kind of knew he was going to pay any price to win. I do remember a story where I was in the room and we're down, I think 2-0. We're playing really good. He goes, "We got them boys. We got them boys." And he goes, "I got one." And you're like, oh, fuck. He just said, "I got one." You knew he was going to get a goal. He's Mark Messier. And then he fucking reached over. He goes, "Lucky, you got one? You got one?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I got one." I'm fucking crapping my pants. I got one. Mark Messier. I know he's going to get a goal. It was a fucking race. I shot everything I could. Yeah. I did. I actually passed it from the corner. He hit a stick and went in. I'm like, "I got one."
Did he get it?
No, I got the other one.
Where you moved, Chip?
My guy.
Fucking pressure. Like Mark Messier tells you I got one. You're like, he's getting one. I was never felt that much pressure in my life.
After the game, you're like, "Hey, I had yours too for you."
You can take
I
didn't even say anything. I was just like,
Actually, Stoley was just telling me out there about your goal scoring. He's like, he didn't have the hardest shot. You would tell him, like, "I just try to get it off my stick as quick as possible and hit the net."
That's all it is. I just shot as quick as I could. Everything.
Every time.
Most goals, you miss your shot or hit something. And if you should, because the guy that Giroux had taught me, like, he would line up $100 in a corner and he wouldn't snap, and he would they kept coming. You had no time to set, and we'd practice. You had to aim. We'd split the net in half. That half or that half, but you can't miss the net, or you had to do 10 push-ups. $100. Fuck, you didn't want to
No way.
That was hard. Yeah.
And just hit the net.
We did that every day. But you split the net in half. But you couldn't miss the net. So if you never miss the net, it's like Gret says, you give yourself a chance, you know?
Yeah, percentage game.
So then when I got in the NHL, every one-timer was just as quick as it never sat on my stick.
I was just going to say, because the goalies are so good. If they see it, they're going to save it.
Right.
Especially, they come fast. But a lot of time you see a guy even, they kind of take it, and just that time the goalie's there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's maybe they want to have it on their stick a little longer, you know? Like, yeah, take a look at me.
Well, guys shoot different today with the sticks.
Yeah. We kind of went back to talk about Mess, but winning that Stanley Cup, like that run, like, I mean, what sticks out the most? Like the celebration? Like what was it? What was your experience?
Did you have relief that you got a cup?
Yeah. Yeah. What was cool is, like, we knew we were the best team. So when it started, I started collecting shit right away from day one. I'd never done that in my career, but every round, every time I could get something, I would collect it. So I was hoping it was going to, but then we were down 2-0 against Vancouver in the first series.
Cloutier let in that goal.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
And then
Dumping.
people threw a Dominic Hasek jersey on the ice, and I remember that was Stevie's second speech. Was we were down 2-0, and Stevie just
Was
said,
it on the plane or
No,
something?
it was in Vancouver. He said, "Hey guys, let's." I remember it was like, "Let's just calm down." He goes, "We know what it takes to win. We're just gonna go out there, play our game. We'll win tonight, and then we're gonna move on." I think that's what he said. So then that's the game. Cloutier led that. It was a 1-1 game
In the third, right?
It was in the second,
Okay.
and we made it 2-1, and we won 2-1
Oh,
that game.
God.
Oh,
And then the next game, I think it was 5-2 or something. And then we won in 4. The next series against St. Louis, it wasn't close. Then it was Colorado. That's when those two teams.
Was that when did you guys go to Game 7 with them that year?
Yeah.
Where it was 7-0 or 7-1.
7-1 or 7-2.
Yeah, Wall went to
Wall-
pick up that puck.
I'll never forget.
That was
it.
game
That was 7.
6.
I thought that was 7.
that was game
No.
7.
So we were down 3-2, and the game 6 was in Colorado. That's Stevie's third speech. He said, that's what he said before the game. We're stretching you. And he goes, let's just take it easy. He goes, listen, we're not here to win. He says, we're just going to play tonight. We're going to win tonight. He goes, we're not going to celebrate. We'll win game 7. We're just going to move on, and we're here to win the cup. That's what he said before
Relaxing.
game 6. But he said in a calming way that you just knew he was right. And that's the game that in the morning skate, I think Bob Hartley asked for a Dominic Hasek stick, or sometime he asked for a Dominic Hasek stick, and his blade was too thick. And, but you kind of measure, you didn't really know, but they knew he had given him a stick, so they shaved his blade to be legal. And they called Dominic Hasek's stick that
You're saying
game.
that
And then they got a penalty.
He tried to
Yeah,
act,
but Dominic gave it for his kid. He said for his kid.
so they try to act like, hey, give me a signature.
Yeah.
I really want when you're sick. But really, they were trying to
That's
see if
fucking bullshit,
yeah,
though.
like
But
sorely.
But you guys got ahead of it.
yeah, but I remember Dom was like, hey, fucking Vegas, he's so happy. He knows we got him.
Yeah.
And we got a PP.
Once they asked for the check. he's
Yeah,
like,
they say, hey, fucking, he almost threw it at them. He was so happy, but he was pissed. 'Cause
wow,
he knew.
that is
That's
fucking
And,
gamesmanship.
did you guys score on that power play?
I think so. It's not too long after that Patrick went like this and the puck
Oh
went in
my
and
God.
Sergey put it in. Yeah.
Wow.
And then I think we won 3-2. And then
Game
game
6.
7, we were up 4-1 in the first. It was over, or 4-0, whatever.
Yeah, you think you guys won that one. So
Yeah, it wasn't even
I
close.
remember being so hyped for that game.
Me
'cause
too.
At that time, I think that the Lemieux situation with like all the chaos.
But that Lemieux stuff was over, because remember it was not.
That was 96.
But if you were to go back and watch that series, fuck, that's probably some of the best hockey.
That's what I
ever.
mean. I think just because of the
It was
history of
sick.
it, it was this like new school
Yeah,
rivalry where
yeah.
it was a game 7 between these two teams, and it was such a dud.
Yep.
Such
I remember the
such a-
same thing.
Well, it wasn't a dud.
Oh,
for you guys, yeah.
for the hockey fans.
We played that year in Detroit against Colorado. We won 4-1 or 4-2, and I remember seeing Blakey after, and Blakey's laughing. He goes, "Fuck, we didn't even touch the puck today." Like, remember I told you we always had the puck? He was like, "We couldn't believe it. We never touched the puck the whole game."
It's crazy though, because even that team, one of the greatest teams ever, 10 Hall of Famers,
Yeah.
still down 2-0 in the first round.
Yeah.
Down 3-2 Western
3-2.
Conference Finals. It's never easy.
Yeah, it's never
Even with
easy.
how good that team
And then against Carolina, we knew we were the better
Yeah.
team, but we still lost game 1, and we went triple OT in one game.
That was the game
It's
I was at.
amazing. Yeah,
The Larionov goal.
Unreal.
yeah,
So you ended up, your last year was the year after the lockout though.
yeah.
So like, I feel like maybe a decent amount of guys your age then, they didn't come back for that next year.
Yeah.
And you knew I'm not done yet.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like when that year that we had the lockout, a couple years prior, my back was bad, so my back got better.
Yeah,
know?
from not playing.
Not playing.
yeah.
And I felt pretty good. I'm like, I think I could play one more year. It'd be fun. Then I didn't know it. There was no plan. Yeah, and ended up playing that year, and it was fun, and it was kind of a good time. Not knowing, I had no plan. Then towards the end of the year, you're starting to say, I'm like, oh, and then I was joking because I was playing with George Peros that he ended my career. I told George the other day. George goes, yeah, you knew your career was over once you were playing with me, but we had fun on the bench, though.
Sure.
Then as I got near the end, I started knowing, maybe January I started thinking about it. But then it was funny because then everything was fun. In the room.
I'm gonna
When you're a player, there's shit going on. You're not sure. But then everything was fun till the end of the year.
You're appreciating everything because it's
Because I'm like,
fun.
oh, this is going to be it. I'll never get this
That
again.
was my question. So you knew the last game of the year that was your last game.
Yeah.
And then the crowd got to know.
Yeah. A week prior, I'm like, we weren't going to make the playoffs. I said, it'll be my last game. So because then I knew I would fly my parents and, and everybody was around. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have to say, this has been one of my favorite interviews of all time.
unbelievable.
This was
Amazing.
Hell of a
you
storyteller.
are such a funny storyteller, Luke.
Let's do roll back.
Yeah, I was roll back. Last question. When you got the call for the Hall of Fame, and you want to do the funny? Sorry,
What funny what?
or the whole rollback thing?
Sorry, I thought you were
Okay,
taking
sorry.
it over. All right, so this is last question presented by Rollback. That's RHOBACK.com. Use code CHICLETS, CHICLETS, 25% off. 20% off through the end of the week. Polos, shorts, swim trunks, and more. Use code CHICLETS at
Sorry about that,
rollback.com.
Funny.
No, I was going to, yeah, I did a funny job at that. The Hall of Fame. Tell about the call. Who called you? I think it's, who does the calls now? Lanny McDonald, I believe. Was that who it was for you?
No, for me, I
Davidson?
was working in the Kings, and I wasn't sure how it works because they don't tell you. No one calls you and say, if you get named, we'll call you. I didn't know. So I look at my phone, it said 416. I'm like, oh. And I picked it up, and it was cool because it was Pat Quinn. And that was my original coach.
Wow.
So that
Yeah,
was
you got
really
your punch
cool.
in the eye that time.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't ask me to get tough. But I was, so that was him. But the Hall of Fame was really cool. But for me, I think the greatest honor in my career, and I remember I called my dad, is Pat Quinn called me back a few years later and asked me to be on the selection committee.
Oh, wow.
And I told my dad, I go, Dad, I just want to play hockey. Now I get to pick who gets in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's so
Like, that's
cool.
the greatest thing ever,
I know.
And that was, for some reason, that was like the coolest thing.
Wow.
Are you still doing that now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you guys get together
Once a year.
and you go over all the names and boom.
Yeah.
Is it a vote? Secret vote?
And then Bobby Clark was on the committee the first time. My dad loved Bobby Clark. So I'm like, Bobby Clark. So I sat right next to him. I'm like, hey, Bobby.
Who we voting for?
I don't know. Bobby
Cheating off
Clark
his
just doesn't care. Oh, yeah. I was totally peeking because that's Bobby Clark.
Not going
Stole
against
mine
him.
out too.
I remember in your speech you said talking about the LA Kings. I can't wait to win a Stanley Cup with the Kings, and you guys did it. 2 years later?
2 years later,
That must have been incredible.
It was amazing. It's cool. When you win as a player, it's the trainers, it's your family, obviously the player, because it is really people. It's the hardest trophy. There's no doubt. When you watch the playoffs, it's amazing. But when I won the other side, what I never realized is when you're a player, like, if we win, they'll show up, they'll be there. You don't realize how much work and passion's behind. So I got to appreciate that. And then the other thing that never thought or come to my mind is like, there's people that had been buying season tickets since like 1968, paying $5,000, $8,000, and don't make a lot of money. Every year they're buying. So then when you see them and they're crying and you're like, oh shit, they means
Appreciate
a lot to
Wow.
them. So that was cool to understand that part for me.
It had been a long time here, until they got one.
Mm-hmm.
And they get another one 2 years later.
Yeah.
That was unreal.
incredible.
Thank you so
fuck,
much.
So many good
What a
laughs.
career.
You're a silly bastard, Luke.
No, you guys are great for our game. Love what you guys
Thank
are
you.
doing. Like I do, Sometimes.
So
I still can't get away with some of the stuff you get away with.
No one can. No one
What
can.
do you mean?
Charles
No one
Barkley.
can.
Charles Barkley.
No, hey. So we got Blakey coming up here.
Yeah.
We're gonna joke around. I remember when I signed here my last year with Ontario, like I was trying to negotiate.
She's like, yeah, I said no.
I tried to negotiate like $5 more on my contract. So the shit that you guys put up with while I was here, man. I
Did he give it to you?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
did?
he
All
did.
right.
It was nice. I went from 130 to 135.
How about 10?
He's like, never call me on a long weekend again, you asshole.
Where'd you get my number?
Yeah, exactly. So,
Oh, my
yeah, thank you
God.
for everything
Thank
you
you,
did for me. You're a
Thanks,
legend.
guys.
Guys, let's talk about sport clips for a quick second here. The holiday season is packed. You got parties, you got events, you got everything going on. There's football to watch, there's hockey to watch, relatives to visit, and presents that you need to buy last minute. Fortunately, Sport Clips Haircuts is the perfect holiday timeout. Just when you thought an MVP experience couldn't get any more relaxing, the Playmaker scents are back. For a limited time, choose one of 3 all-new seasonal scents for your hot steam towel and take your relaxation to the next level. And of course, you're still getting a massaging shampoo and a sharp cut just in time for holiday pictures. Don't let the hustle and bustle of the holidays get you down. Try one of the holiday Playmaker scents, available until December 27th at participating locations only and where permitted by law. Sport Clips, it's a game changer. You got the cold mint plunge, a burst of chilled mint mixed with cool winter air. It's like taking an ice plunge without ever having to get in the water and get cold. You got the tailgate huddle. The warmth of embers and spice smells like victory for your favorite team. Vanilla spice and the warmth of campfire. Also, we got halftime chill, a refreshing blast of crisp, clean confidence. It's relaxation bottled. It's like if Santa had a favorite cologne. Try one of the holiday Playmaker scents, available until December 27th at participating locations only and where permitted by law. Sport Clips, it's a game changer. Thank you so much to Lucky Luke, a legend, gave us so much of his time. Awesome, awesome interview. We appreciate it very much.
And if there's one thing I could take away from that interview, it's just, lie to your coaches so you can get power play time.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just lie to them, lie to their face, tell them that you played the half wall, tell them you played behind the net, tell them you play net front. And you'll get out there with the best players and you'll pad the stats and you'll make a shitload of money. And the only other thing I wanted to bring up before we throw it to RA's World, boys, is this battle between Michael Bublé and Frank Seravalli is top-notch entertainment right now.
They got to fight.
They are.
I'm wondering, though, so for anyone who doesn't know, Michael Bublé, we got to get him back on. I liked interviewing him. Huge Canucks fan. He went at Frank, I don't know what show he was on, saying that if Frank Seravalli is a Canucks insider, the movie The 40-Year-Old Virgin is about a porn star. I might have been messing up that quote a little bit, but it was a shot. Biz, you're muted, buddy. You're muted. So it was a shot at Frank Seravalli saying he doesn't know anything about the Canucks.
Shot at Steve Carell, too.
I know, seriously. The back with the chest waxing scene all time. And then Seravalli came back, apparently did some research and said, this is coming from a guy who named one of his children. Now, when I'm reading his response, I'm like, he's bringing his kids into this? Before I even finished it, I'm like, what's going on here? Who named one of his children after one of the most overpaid players in the league. So then I'm wondering, all right, I didn't even think it was Pettersson because he's been pretty good this year. I wasn't thinking EP40, but apparently Bublé's son is named Elias. Do we have that correct? Is that now?
And I guess Bublé fired back because he's been following Elias Pettersson since he played in Sweden, and he's been a huge fan of him. So that's why he named his kid that. So
that's what I was wondering. So people came out originally and said, "Oh, nice try, Frank." His son was born the year before Pettersson was even drafted. So I was like, "Oh, maybe he got it wrong." But then Bublé did write like things that made it sound like he did name him after him. Is that true? Was he being
maybe he
sarcastic?
was just trolling him back? I don't know, but I think that hopefully at some point we're able to get to the bottom of it. Maybe we get them both on to hash it out. We kind of got the Bloods and the Crips with the bandanas tied and
holding it. Yep.
Yeah, just we've resolved our issues, but just that would be the last battle I would have considered going into the holidays, especially with the holiday albums.
Or
that
you and
Bublé released.
Tarantino.
Me and Tarantino's up there, so. I just wanted to bring that one up, and hopefully those guys can resolve it because we want to get Bublé on singing those Christmas albums.
Yeah, seriously. Bring us RA.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to RA's World here in the Spittin Chiclets podcast. What's going on, boys? How's that? Thanks since the last time we saw each other.
Thanksgiving,
What's up,
baby.
RA?
Not much, not
What
much.
up, Rear?
Had a
We heard
decent
you're
turkey
injured.
day. Yeah, just the sciatica's had me on the DL the last couple weeks. Been acting up a little bit. Plus, I got arthritis. That's when you know you're getting old. I get in the middle-aged double whammy right now. So
You got to get the bands out, RA, like the band work to activate your glutes. You got
I think just start with, are you walking, RA?
well, I usually do, but I it's tough right now because I gotta walk like Yoda. I gotta walk hunched over, and then that tightens up the top part of my back. It just kind of
Do you have
gotta
a
get some
foam
rest.
roller, RA?
I do not, but
You
I
got to
gotta
get a
get
foam
one.
roller. You got to get a lacrosse
He had one.
ball.
He made it into a bong. You're like, oh, that's not what that's for, sir. He's like, no, but smoking the styrofoam makes you more high.
Extra buzz. Biz, you just mentioned Ozzy Wiesblatt. That was actually the 5th time that 2 Predators got their first NHL career goal in the same game. Pretty wild stat. Yeah, the last time buddy Colin Blackwell and Pekka Rinne back in January of 2020. Interesting little stat.
Pekka Rinne scored a goal in the same game. His first NHL goal, the same game as another guy.
Yeah, it's Colin Blackwell. Yeah.
No
That's
shit.
hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely, bud. Absolutely. How was you guys Turkey Day? I know you might have discussed it a little while ago. Anything exciting? Or just,
I flew
No.
to TNT. I didn't do fuck all for Thanksgiving.
Did they give you turkey on the plane at least, Biz?
Nope. No, I had meatballs with ricotta cheese.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad, Biz.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Actually, I wanted to talk about the Bruins. I haven't really gone off on them since I've been doing this RA's World, but I want to talk about Mark Kastelik, man. This guy has been an absolute stud. I know people thought he was the throw-in back in the Linus Ullmark deal when they picked up Korpisalo, but this guy, man, 58.3% of the face-off circle. I mean, 3rd, 4th line, whatever line he's on. That's pretty damn good for a bottom 6 guy. 4 goals, 4 assists, but he plays Bruins hockey, man. I know they're outside the playoffs right now. They lost to Detroit. They went from 2nd in the Atlantic to 11th in the conference. That's how tight the Atlantic Conference is right now. The Eastern Conference. Pretty wild, but I don't know. I just like the way he plays his game. He'll stick up for his teammates, chips in with the odd goal, but like I said, that face-off percentage, he just personifies what the Bees have been doing. I know we've talked about Zadorov as well, but they're just kind of treading water, Biz. I just kind of hope they can just stay there and not fall too far behind, missing Pasta, missing McAvoy. It's tough to keep winning games or you're missing your
Well,
superstars
G
like
said that he could see him falling off a cliff here.
And then they scored 2 goals to make it 3. It was 3-0. G said, they're going to fall off a cliff. They got 2 goals. And then he's like, I'm a complete fucking mush. But they ended up losing that game 5-4 to a division rival in the Red Wings. I don't know. I don't see them being able to sustain what they've done so far this year. But like you said, RA, at least you fans have something to cheer for in a sense of they're bringing it every night. They're playing physical. They're playing Bruins hockey. And they're setting the tone for hopefully, to eventually get back into dominant situation. Now, Fraser Mitten's been playing pretty solid for them. They got to be crazy happy with that trade and what they were able to turn over Carlo for. But yeah, I think that they have between Zadorov, Jeannot, and Kastelik one of the tougher teams in the league. Where, I mean, we talk about the lack of toughness that some teams have. They could definitely use one of those guys.
And Swayman's been unreal. I know he kind of got dummied a little bit last night, but in November, 10 starts in November, went 8-2, 206 goals against with a 9.35 save percentage. He's been playing out of his mind. I mean, he's a huge reason why they are, in the play. Well, just outside the playoffs right now. Hopefully, they just can rope a dope and hang in there and get a spot. But that fight, Kastelik and Seider, I was surprised Seider jumped in there with him. But man, he ended up fucking getting fed a few punches. Man,
He had no say. He I think he said after, I didn't even really have an option at that point. His glove was on for a while, and then that I give Seider credit too, but that's not. We talked RA on Monday's show about Detroit can't love seeing that. If Detroit could have one of Kastelik or Jeannot, not at the contract Jeannot's on, I don't think, but one of those guys that could just at least toughen their team up a little bit, maybe Seider doesn't have to go there. But also, I forgot to say Monday, if Seider's going to be a true one, which I think he's well on his way to being, That's what Chris Pronger did. That's what Scott
Exactly.
Stevens did. That's what some of these animals actually were willing to do. And I don't think Rob Blake was as dirty or fought like Chris Pronger, but he was willing to stand in there with guys. So, you know what? It just shows your team and your fan base. Like, I am not just one of these new offensive number ones. Like, I'm a true penalty kill, power play, in your face, prick in front of the net, number one, well-rounded defenseman.
Yeah, like Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes don't have to do that, but they're also not laying the massive hits. And like, watch Mo Sider. He's cross-checking guys in front of the net all game long. Like, those other guys aren't doing that as much.
And they're getting 100 points.
Very true.
He's stuck in that 45-point bracket there.
Right.
I think he can be 50 to 60, 25 minutes, PK, last minute down a goal, last minute up a goal.
Yeah. I was just trying to say it's a different type of number one defenseman that they have. And I like you said, I love the fact that he answered the bell there and fought because, you know, it's not going to be the last time he's going to have to do it, especially the way he plays.
I don't think Petro fought much, but I see him as a Petrangelo. That to me is what he could be. An unreal stick, shutdown guy. He's long. He's nasty. He's mean. I mean, was it Petro a few years back where he ended up fucking giving it to Draisaitl, or was it the other way around?
He like legit Juan Soto swung at his wrist.
Yeah.
Got a one-game suspension.
Yeah, just being an absolute piece of shit out there. But I think that if Sider is going to be stuck in that 45, 50-point range as a D-man and plays the way he plays, we talked about it last pod, get some boxing lessons. Keep fight 5, 6, 7 times a year just to let everybody know, hey, if you want to drop him, I'm right here waiting for you, motherfucker. And even if it, like, he should be able to fight a guy like Kastelik toe to toe. He should be.
I know, but dude,
just such a bad trade-off. Like,
I know it's a bad trade-off, but he should be able, like, that's for his size.
With his size.
Yes, he should be able to go toe to toe with him. Especially if you want to play the way that he plays.
Right.
Yeah, you guys just mentioned beef between player coach Monty and Binnington. Pretty funny stuff. But I want to go back to SERAVALLI and BUBLÉ. Basically, BUBLÉ said if he's a Canucks insider, 40-year-old Virgil's a porn star. But before that, what he did say, like, oh, he's probably a good guy. He didn't really talk too much shit about him. And then Frank said, I found it very odd. I guess in the end, I would expect nothing less of someone who has named one of his children after perhaps the NHL's most overpaid player, which is kind of weird, like a ricochet shot at Pedersen, who had nothing to do with anything. And that wasn't even true because BUBLÉ, one of the Instagram comments he wrote, I got to give Frank his due. It's the first time he's been right about anything Canucks. And then he said, Frank's right. I was a fan of Petey before he got drafted. Used to watch him play while he was in Sweden. Was thrilled when the Canucks drafted him. So I don't know if he was being a wise ass.
That seems like
he just named him Elias, and it just so happens that he ended up coming to play there. Is that what you're saying?
No, I was going to say it seems like he already was watching him.
Yes, that's what I said earlier. I just thought maybe because we don't know like the actual deep roots of what's going on. Maybe he was just being condescending, as if though you actually think I named my kid after him.
Hey, Merles is actually Michael Bublé. He's been watching all these young Swedes.
Shit.
Right. You're right. Merles invented singing, so it's fair.
And we know sarcasm and the internet are like oil and water. You can't really tell when someone's being sarcastic.
That's the problem.
But it reminded me of some other media versus talent beef. Here in Boston, Will McDonough, he was a great footballer. He passed away a few years ago. Yeah, he had an argument with one of the Patriots, Raymond Claiborne, in the room. And like the Patriot bumped into him, and he's like, "Hey," what are you doing? Like they started having words, and Will McDonough hit him like boom, boom, boom with like 3 shots. He knocked out one of the fucking Patriots like with 3 punches in the locker room like 40 years ago. You ever hear that story, Yendo, about Will McDonough?
No, that's incredible.
Sean McDonough's father, he was great football reporter, a really pioneer reporter. Yeah, he ended up punching out one of the Patriots in the locker room, which is pretty wild. And then what you probably remember this one, Jim Everett and Jim Rome on the show he had on ESPN.
Call me Chris one more time.
Yeah,
Okay,
people
Chris.
thought that was rehearsed too. I mean, yeah, call him Chris. His name Jim Everett. Chris Everett, of course, is the tennis player. And I mean, he pissed him off. He didn't really punch him. He just kind of ragdolled him a little bit.
He flipped the table on him.
Yeah, on that. What was that show? What was that name of that show back in the day? The
Jim Rome is
show.
burning.
He's still,
I don't know.
Yeah, he's still doing it too. Out in California, he's got like a show every day. But Biz, I want to ask you: the Jets, are they going to be able to hold serve until Hellebuck gets back? I know he's due back relatively soon, but they've lost 5 or 6, only scored 13 goals, 7 points back on Minnie, 2 back from the wild card. They're not going to make a move for a goalie. I don't think they really need to. But I don't know. It seems like they've lost a huge. Obviously, it's a huge thing when you lose a goalie of that caliber. But you think they're going to slip too far where they're not going to be able to get back in the race?
I don't know. It's looking that way right now. It's crazy when you're so used to the tendencies of playing with a guy in net, like the way, the way he plays the puck, what angles you give up when you're penalty killing, and just the fact, look at his fucking numbers throughout the regular season since he's been healthy, and he's also the guy who gets the net, 65 times a year. So I don't know. It's not good right now. The offense has went a little bit dry, but yeah, that's such. Guys, with the Central Division, you can't go cold for too long, or you're going to find yourself outside the playoffs looking in.
Fans are Jets fans are pretty pissed off. Like, they need a second line center in the worst way. They lost Ehlers, and then I think Taves looked good, but now they're he's playing above where he should be playing. Some people are saying our window's kind of already done. It feels like so. Yeah, all right. Scary times for the Jets right now.
Tough year for Taves to come back to with this, the cram schedule before Olympics. He hasn't played in how many years? Obviously the break will help him out. But yeah, they need to figure it out. But it's not even figuring it out, right? It's just waiting till your goalie gets back and trying to win some games.
Interesting stat too. They've had a goal fewer per game over the last 12 games compared to their first 12. So in other words, that's a huge drop off, and you can't blame that on a goalie too. You know what I mean? That's not Hellebuck's fault. Yeah, just 13 goals over the last 6 games. So another thing too, the helmets. Helmets have been a big talk this week. Unusual this time of year. Bill Daly said the league was going to be sending out a memo to remind teams that helmets are mandatory in warmups for all players who entered the NHL beginning with the 2019-20 season or later. Because the Sens, they were the first ones to do it. They were in Vegas. I guess they had lost their last 6 times out there. They were out team dinner. They decided to go without the buckets and warm-ups. They ended up winning 4-3 in a shootout. And San Jose did the same thing. 5 straight losses. They were in Vegas. And Will Smith said there was no particular motivation. It was just a team decision at a dinner Saturday night in Vegas. So I think the guys were pretty set to do it. They went out. They didn't end up winning the game. But and then the next game, the Devils, they wore the hats for Dilly's 1,000. We just mentioned that a few minutes ago. So I think the fine is, I asked Wyshynski, he said 5,000 per player and 25 per team. Does that sound right, Keith?
Do they just eat the fines, knowing that when they do it, that they're going to each have to pay that much money?
I would hope if you get the win, like RA said, if the team's on a skid and then you go out and get the win and it changed the juju, the owner should just drop off a check and say, there you go.
Yeah. Exactly,
it all started when I was on the Oilers, when Corey Potter stepped on Halsey's face.
Oh, yeah.
The picture that I've showed you guys is the
Frankenstein.
most insane,
the worst
thing. It was scary as shit. I think he got 40 stitches down his forehead. And that was kind of the beginning of the discussion. Maybe we need helmets in warmups. But God, was it cool to have no helmet on in warmups. What a feeling. Talk about feeling like you're at the top of your profession, NHL hockey, buzzing around, wind in your hair. My hair's still not moving. Damn.
I miss those days. Also, congrats to David Perron, his 1,200th game Tuesday in Montreal, making it even more special. It was in Montreal. He's a Quebec guy, so congrats to David Perron, man. He's a hell of a player, been doing it for a long time. But, boys, I want to ask you.
800th point, too, right?
In that game?
Or recently or something like that. But that's an amazing career, man.
Oh, yeah. He's a gamer.
Yeah.
He can be a piece of shit.
Check it out.
I
could be wrong. Not good at the internet.
Yeah, just like how many guys undrafted and ended up playing 1,000 games.
How about one of them's Kunitz?
Yeah.
RA sent me, ever heard of this guy? Just a picture of Adam Oates.
During the show, yeah, that was hilarious.
Perron has 797 points.
So he's going to get 800.
Plus
way to go, Jans.
110 playoff games. Keith, I want to go to you for this one. What do you think is more impressive? This actually came from my buddy PK. Crosby, Marchand, Malkin, and Ovi averaging a point per game at their age, or Celebrini, Bedard, Carlson, and Smith averaging a point per game at their age. What's more impressive, you think?
Wow, that's a great question. Probably, I'd say the old guys, just the fact that they've done it this long. If it was the end of the season and all those young guys still were a point a game, then maybe I might switch my answer. But I think when the the old guys who've been doing it for 20 years, almost 20 years with Marchie. Like that's so impressive to me. Just the commitment that they put in the summer times, and obviously every day to their craft. So probably the older guys.
You just said, all right, quickly. You just said, I forgot to bring this up. You said PK. It made me think of PK Subban, who put out a picture having dinner with Andre Markov.
Markov, yeah.
Dude, I had forgot about Andre Markov. He was so disgusting
Nasty.
at hockey. That guy was I thought he was so nasty playing against him. His stick skills, his shot, his passing on the power play, just a name you kind of forget about. Oh my God. I Canadians fans all know that guy was sick.
Wasn't he ripping darts in the locker room too?
Possibly.
Or is that the
and
other
then somebody
Danny
said
Markov?
they didn't want to pay him at the time. I think Army was saying they didn't.
No, I sent a text to a breakdown. I'm going to pull it up right now. Just the fact that at the time, Mark Bergevin was the GM.
Bergevin.
And they were having contract battles. And I guess that he represented himself. So he didn't have an agent, and he didn't feel like they were offering him what he was worth, and they were battling, and then he just hung him up. And here's it right here. This is from Habs on Reddit. Back in 2017, the Habs GM Mark Bergevin decided to play hardball with Andre Markov during contract negotiations. I didn't even know this is how it all ended. Bergevin then proceeded to, this is kind of a shot at Alzner. Bergevin then proceeded to sign Carl Alzner for 5 years times 5-year, $23 million deal. Markov would go on to end his 17-year NHL career at 990 games, so never got 1,000. All of them with the Habs. He would have become the first Canadiens player to reach the illustrious 1,000 game milestone, all with the franchise since Larry Robinson, 1986, and Bob Gainey, 1987.
Wow.
So that just. He was 1 point away from becoming second all-time points among defensemen in Habs history behind Larry Robinson.
He was sick.
Yeah,
he had years 46 points, 49 points, 58 points, 64 points. And then he was injured 2010, 11, I guess, 11, 12. And then he went back 30 and 48 games, 43, 50 points. And then I didn't even realize he went to the KHL and they won it all. His first year out of Montreal. So that guy, a guy I forgot about.
47 points back then too was 80 now, maybe 75.
No.
That's
47 points. 47 points
adjusted for inflation is
47 points in 05-06. I'm giving you 58 now.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I would have said
you 12 more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely an unusual way for a guy to leave the NHL. But wait, going back to that question, what's more impressive? Do you think it's harder for old guys because of the wear and tear, or is it tougher for the young guys given the inexperience in the league?
I don't even think that question's
guys.
close. I think it's the old guys.
Old guys, especially with the speed of the NHL. I would say that the progression of how fast the league is over the last 15 years has accelerated faster than any point in the history of the game. That's every single person you talk to, and you're like, oh, what's the biggest difference? It's skating. These guys are fucking zipping up and down the ice. And the fact that Sid and some of these older guys are still Sid's not only keeping up, he's dominating. What do you get?
He's on pace for 50 goals.
Yeah, he got his 18th the other night. Just remarkable. He had his classic knee drop snipe. He's so good at going to the right hard areas and just touching, little tip here, little tip there, open the blade there, boom. So he just has so much arsenal in his bag.
What does he got? 5 goals in 3 games with playing with Hazy?
I know Hazy's on his
don't let
wing.
Hazy get hot.
Don't let Hazy boy.
How about that?
Don't let Hazy play with Sid. Sign an
See that
extension there.
breakaway he had the other night?
That was nasty.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
Right
that
to
was
the
nice.
backhand. What do they call him? Not the great one. Don't they call him something? Not
The
Broadway?
best one.
The best one. The best one.
But Sid had 2 against Philly. That guy has been torturing Philly for 20 fucking seasons. And I remember our rookie year, they would boo him every time he touched the puck. That was the game. He got his teeth knocked out, scored the OT winner, and then it's just never stopped. He had one night he had 6 points against him, if not 7 at home. He's just owned that city.
Hey, how about this one? I saw a stat that in that building there now, it used to be called the Wells Fargo. I don't know what it's called now. Do you guys
Still
know?
is, I think. Or
I thought it was
I think-
Wachovia.
Maybe they changed it to Wachovia. That he has I think he's around the 35th to 30 most points in that building.
No way.
Yes, buddy. Like
That's
guys have
unreal
played.
stat.
That is fucking insane, bud. I don't know.
He's
if
he's ahead of like Wayne Simmons or someone. Like that's insane.
Yeah, like, I would imagine Hartnell's up there, but
I mean, what does he play 4 times a year there? And then he's
Yeah.
had a bunch of playoff series, but owns that organization, which is
owns
crazy.
them. Owns
Yeah.
them.
I feel like Gino's getting kind of overlooked a little bit because, all these guys at a point per game, but he's got, 26 points in 25 games as well, man. He's been playing at a ridiculously high level.
I
And they're the
feel like
wild card
when
number
you-
one, too.
I feel like when you know it's your last year, like he wants to leave his mark, right? He wants to leave it all on the table and empty the tank. So I heard he had a huge offseason training and I mean, no surprise that he's coming and doing what he's doing. And it would be awesome to see that Pittsburgh group make playoffs. I would be so fired up to see
Me
him in
too.
there. And the type of group where you got Sid leading you, man, you never know with how tight that
Goalie
East is
gets
tighter
hot.
than a nun's cunt. So it's not like the
Hey, now.
hey now.
Oh, good,
Go
Biz.
ahead. No,
Oh,
I'm done.
Jinx, buy me some Coke. Today in NHL history, in 1968, Gordie Howe became the first player to score 700 goals. 7 players have done it since then. Marcel Dionne, Brett Hull, Mike Gardner, Ovechkin, Esposito, Yager, and Gretzky. Howe is also the first to 800 goals, and just 2 guys have joined him in that rarefied air since, Ovechkin and Gretzky. And also on this date in NHL history, in 1909, the oldest and most historic franchise in the NHL, the Montreal Canadiens, was founded. They were a charter member of the National Hockey Association, which was the precursor to the NHL. That lasted for 8 seasons. They won a Stanley Cup there, but there was only 3 teams in the league when they won it. It originally started with 4th, the Montreal Wanderers are the other team, and the arena burned down like 6 games into the season, so that the team had to be suspended. So it was the Ottawa Senators, the OG Senators, the Toronto Arenas, and the Canadiens. And I saw they only had 3 teams. And then 1924, the NHL started. So that was like the precursor to the NHL. So, hey, shout out to the Canadiens, man.
They should have had that Italian construction crew come over. They would have rebuilt that rink in a week.
They would have just finished it now. 100 years later.
The Laval Canadians, they'd be playing out of fucking Laval. God damn it.
All right, now the main lecture at hand, Biz. There will be blood. Quentin Tarantino, Paul Dano. Weird thing. I don't know why he took such a shot at Paul Dano. I mean, the guy's a great actor. He hasn't been nominated for an Academy Award, but he's done some stellar work. Little Miss Sunshine, Lupa, Prisoners, 12 Years a Slave, Love and Mercy. He was actually in The Sopranos, too, back in one of the early seasons. He was one of Meadows' friends. Yeah, he had that stupid haircut and the glasses. Yeah, he's an OG
Well, he's
Sopranos
always got
guy.
a stupid haircut. But
Yeah, I guess that's true.
What did you make of it, RA? Like, where do you put Tarantino as far as directors too all time?
Yeah, I mean, if I know Mount Rushmore things played out, but yeah, he's definitely up there on my list. I
Top
got him,
10?
Oh, easily top 5. Yeah, top 5. I mean, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Jackie Brown, The Kill Bills, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I mean, he's done some stellar work, man. Yeah, he's a little bit of a weirdo. He says some funny things. Oh, Biz, did you watch that clip I sent you last night when he was doing the interview? He was the only white guy there. And when he's around black people, he starts talking like thinks he's black. It's like wicked cringy. Like even Sam Jackson looked like he would want to do the Homer Simpson, like fade into the bush thing. It's wicked cringy, man. Yeah, he just starts
I'll
talking
take a look at it after this. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's,
you know
it's
what movie
kind
he was in, RA? Have you ever seen Taking Lives with Angelina Jolie?
No. Wait.
I remember it's like old, early 2000s, but it was pretty good. It was creepy as shit. Paul
Dano was?
Oh, he was creepy, dude.
Yeah, he plays a good creep.
He does play a good creep. He was in the Batman too. Played the Riddler in that one as well. But yeah, Biz, Tarantino, the Coen brothers, Scorsese, those come to mind right away. No doubt about that.
I found it odd too that a director would take a shot at an actor like that. Just like
There's
that is
got to be
such
something.
That's such a faux pas, no?
Yeah, it's not something you usually see. But he says some wacky stuff, and he's been on this like, oh, I'm only gonna make 10 movies, and supposedly he's gonna make one more movie. I don't know why you would limit yourself to making just 10 movies, but I don't know. See what happens. But his best movies of the 21st century, I was surprised he had Black Hawk Down as his number one. I mean, it's a great movie. I believe Ridley Scott directed it. Like, technically done. I mean, it's tough to do all that shit with all the helicopters and film all those war scenes, but I was really surprised.
Did you find it so noisy and loud? I think I went to the theaters to watch it, actually. And I just remember being like, oh my, I have like a fucking headache and PTSD leaving here, which I'm sure was the point of bringing you in the action, but it was just so much noise the entire time.
Yeah, definitely loud, and definitely seen that in the theater. But yeah, that I don't know, didn't see that as his number one. But as far as his list, Midnight in Paris, yeah, that was a Woody Allen movie. Shaun of the Dead, a great like horror comedy. I don't know if I'd have it in my top 10. Mad Max Fury Road, the one out a few years ago, that was awesome.
Good movie.
Unstoppable. Did you see that one, Keith? The one with who's it?
Is that the
Pine? What's his name? Pine and Denzel. I think it's Denzel. They're on that train that literally.
Oh
They can't stop the train. Again, I was surprised that was there. Zodiac.
I think I only watched it because Denzel was in it. It was fine.
Yeah, it's a good little action movie. Zodiac, There Will Be Blood, Dunkirk, Lost in Translation, which I like. Toy Story 3, Black Hawk Down, but. Yeah, he's a bit of an odd duck, but also a fellow movie store guy. He worked at a video store for like 15 years too. So yeah, I don't know. It was just a little weird shot. Who knows? I'm sure there's a backstory. There's always a backstory with that type of stuff. But talk about some TV shows. This is the best stuff I watched this year. Whit, I know you mentioned a few weeks back, Task with Mark Ruffalo on HBO. I don't know if you saw Mayor of Easttown, the same writer who did that with what's her name, Kate Winslet. Terrific show. Well, Task was unbelievable. First couple episodes, they rope you right in. You know who the robbers are right away, and you kind of watch and see if they figure it out. But I thought in the middle, what did you think? It was like, all right, maybe there's a little too much going on here, but then they kind of pulled it all together toward the end.
Yeah, the first episode was a little slow. Then I enjoyed it the rest of the way. I don't really remember disliking the middle. It was a great show. There's an 8-episode series. I've finished 5 of The Beast in Me. Claire Danes on it. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal show.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that. I haven't started that one.
All right, I just finished All Her Fault. Have you seen that?
No, who's in that?
Oh yeah, it's the girl from Secession.
And what's her name? Dakota Fanning's in it. There's somebody else it's fucking incredible. It that same type of things though. With like a lot going on, and they tie it all in like towards the end. But amazing watch.
What's it on Netflix?
I think it's Amazon.
Amazon. Yeah, Amazon Prime, I think.
Yeah, and what was wild too, the 3 cops that Mark Ruffalo worked with, the black girl was from Africa, the guy was from England, and the other white cop, she was from Ireland, and they all nailed that Philly accent, that Delco accent. I think that's as tough to nail as like a Boston accent when when you're doing some actor work. But
that's the one. That's the one Roan can do perfectly. When he's doing his like Eagles fans impressions.
Go Birds.
Yeah,
is he from Philadelphia?
Roan is, yeah.
Yeah.
Does he naturally have that accent?
I don't really hear it, but he can like put on an Eagles diehard.
Yeah,
fan,
no, I've seen him do that accent because like when he normally talks, I can't really distinguish what it is.
Me neither.
Here's one for you, RA, since you're the movie guy, that there's rumors circulating that Dua Lipa's husband, or maybe it's fiance, they're not quite married yet, is cast to be the new James Bond. So that Callum Turner. So imagine being named, what?
He's a stud, that guy.
Oh, stud. I read on the internet that they met on a flight, and it just so happens that they were reading the exact same book.
I think you remember we talked about this on the pod.
Oh, we did? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
No, I didn't remember that.
Smoke more weed, Turtle.
I'm not familiar with his game, but that's probably a good idea going with the relative unknown for Bond, because you don't want too big of a name, because I think that could overshadow the role.
Was Daniel Craig an unknown? Was Sean Connery an unknown?
Daniel Craig not an unknown. He wasn't obvious. I don't know if he was the A-list that he became. Connery,
was Pierce Brosnan an unknown?
I
think I just crushed that argument.
Keep going.
He did.
Keep going.
And who was Timothy Dalton. He was probably the worst Bond, but yeah, I don't think it's the worst idea. Sort of like what they did with Superman, but I don't know. See what happens. Are you a big Bond guy, Keith? I don't.
I don't watch those.
I like the older ones.
Boomers love fucking James
I like
Bond.
the older
I like the
ones.
Pierce Brosnan ones.
Really? Yeah.
Did you hear the story about Daniel Craig when they got a little break in filming? He like bought these like gloves that he loved wearing, and he's like, I want to wear them in the scene. And the director's like, oh fuck, like, and I guess he was being a pain in the ass, so he ended up wearing them in the scene. And that the earlier in the movie, and they'd already filmed it, the gun that he was using, it was all fingerprint based. So they had to like go back and CGI like to make it look like it was just his hand without the gloves on. They tried to get them all back to like refilm the scenes, but the amount of time and money it was going to cost them, it was just ridiculous. So that was something that I heard that had happened. Once again, that could be a completely false story, but I don't remember talking about them meeting on a flight with.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
How long ago?
Was they were reading the same book or something?
I'm gonna say they're on the same page.
It was the Monday show. It was Monday.
No, it wasn't that
no,
close.
no, it was a while ago.
No, it was probably, it could have been September, October. But
okay.
But I would
I'm
do
like a
anything
goldfish.
to get like a sit-down interview with an actor, like a famous actor. Actually, it doesn't even have to be famous. Somebody who's done a bunch of movies, who has stories of director and actor beefs throughout filming.
Well, there was just one that was pretty public, the Francis Coppola and Shia LaBeouf. And I think it was Coppola's last
documentary.
movie.
Avery talked about it, I think.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Megalopolis. I haven't seen that, but I heard about that.
Yeah, when I say want to get an actor, we have Aves. That's our guy. But I'm talking like somebody who's been in the business 50
Will Arnett.
years.
He just
Will
dropped
Arnett.
a big
He's probably
one.
got some good ones.
Yeah.
So you just talked about a mistake they tried to CG out. Going back to Tarantino and Pulp Fiction, there's actually a pretty glaring error in that movie. A lot of people don't notice. When the dude comes out of the bathroom with the gun and tries to shoot somebody, he misses them right from close range. The bullet holes are actually in the wall already. When Vincent Vega and Jules are standing there, if you look before the guy shoots, those bullet holes are already in the wall. If you notice that, little
Like
nerd
the
movie
Starbucks
trivia.
cup in Game of Thrones.
In one of the Bond movies, he wanted to wear these gloves, and
I got one more. This was probably the best show I probably watched all year. It's called The Pit. It was on HBO. It dropped in January. I've never been like a huge medical drama guy. I mean, I haven't watched one since probably friggin' MASH back in the day. This show is unbelievable. It's I think was it 15 episodes, and each episode is 1 hour set in real time. It's one shift at an emergency room. And Noah Wiley, he was on ER back in the day. He's like sort of the main doctor who runs the show. Unbelievable in it. Sean Hatosi was in Outside Providence back in the day. He was in it too. Just the acting so good, the writing so good. Again, I'm not like medical drama, not really my bag, but I pissed through this 3 nights in a row. I did 5 episodes each night, stayed up late. And so the acting, I know people think it's like, oh, big deal, tough to do. It is. It's tough to memorize all that shit. But when you have to memorize all that medical jargon and like say that over and over, that's like a high degree of difficulty, man. That's like a tough thing to do to memorize all that, all that type of lingo. But anyways, Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad, his daughter's actually on it. Have any of you guys seen any of it? The Pit?
No.
Yeah,
Never even heard of it.
Yeah. It's again, it come out back in January, dude. Unbelievable show. Season 2's coming out in January. Just I mean, it's roller coaster of emotions. 1 minute you're laughing your ass off, and 5 minutes later you're bawling your eyes out. So definitely recommend that. Thought it was real good. One last one too, a Netflix limited series called Death by Lightning. It was about the assassination of President James Garfield and the guy who offs him. I knew nothing about this. History's not my biggest thing. But it was dynamite. 4 episodes. The cast, unbelievable. Michael Shannon, Matthew McFadden. I don't think I'm saying his name right. The dude from Succession. Nick Offerman, Brad Whitford, Shea Wiggum, and Betty Gilpin. Dynamite show. You sounds like a boring topic, but you put it on. I bet you guys would finish it. Just a pretty cool story. A little slice of history of how this like loser basically ends up shooting the president of the United States. So check that shit out. Biz, the hauntiest show of the year, The Hunting Wives. Have you heard about this at all?
No.
Yeah, it's wicked cheesy. It's set in Texas. I was like, I'll throw this on, probably fall asleep.
It's called Hunting Wives?
The Hunting Wives, yeah. Malin Ackerman, she's buck. She's naked as a jaybird like 5 minutes in the show. I was like, all right.
I have seen that.
Sign me up. It's like a little campy, a little cheesy, but it's definitely the hauntiest show in the world that I watched this year. So right up your alley, Biz. It's
There's
fun.
another one, have you heard of the Chair Company?
Oh, yeah. Tim Robinson.
This is something I've watched one episode.
He's a character. That guy.
This guy Tim Robinson. You could this is totally like if you told me I hate that show, I would get it. But basically, the premise is this guy he gets a raise. He becomes like the big dog at the company, and this is early on in the first episode. And then he's addressing the company as the new leader, and he goes to sit down in this chair, and the chair breaks, and this dude cannot get over the chair breaking, and it turns into an obsession of finding the company that made the chair, and he can't find the company, and he goes to the warehouse, and it's an empty warehouse, and I'm only one episode in, but I was laughing my ass off. Like, the guy is completely insane. He plays him perfectly, and he can't get over that this chair broke. It basically like ruined his life. So I'm gonna keep going on that one.
What's the show where he did the cigar and the hat on the window?
I haven't seen any other of his shows, but I had seen his face out there.
I think you should leave.
No, I watched some of his clips on Instagram,
They're funny.
from his shows. And fuck, there's one where he goes back and forth with a guy like constantly, where they just he wants them to leave, and they just keep insulting each other back and forth. So his brain works on a different level than a lot of people.
Yeah, he had that Netflix show. I think you should leave. And then that movie Friendship come out earlier this year. Him and Paul Rudd, sort of like a modern day cable guy. Pretty
Yes,
funny
that's
stuff
where I
there
saw
as
him.
well.
That's where I saw
Yeah,
him.
I
but
watched
I haven't
that.
seen that yet.
Yeah, pretty funny shit. And one of my followers on Twitter asked me what were all the shows that I had recommended to Coop over the years. So I went back through all my texts, and these are all the shows I sent to Coop just for anybody who wants to watch them. I gave him Bookie, Murder in Boston, Men of a Certain Age, 6 Feet Under, Boardwalk Empire, Deadwood, Succession, Industry, The Penguin, American Primeval, and the Red Riding Trilogy. So any of those things I gave him, Coop seems to like, to appreciate what I send him when he wants to kill it.
When is the
That's why
Penguin
he's been
coming
winning so many
back already?
games.
I think sometime next year, I think.
The Penguin, the ending of the first season. Oh my God. I need another season of that.
Kristen Milioti, too. She was dynamite in that. The little gangster girl there. Let's see. Oh, my classic recommendation for the week. It was the 50th anniversary last week. One of just 3 movies to sweep the Big 5 at the Oscars. Picture, director, actor, actress, and writing. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Jack Nicholson. That was my Halloween costume a couple of years ago. Probably, I'm sure it's streaming at the usual places. Just a fantastic movie. It was based on a book from the 60s. And this is the movie, like I said before, that took, like, Nicholson was already a star. This put him into the stratosphere, made him a superstar. It's a movie about authority and rebellion and all that stuff that was going on during the 60s and 70s. And they filmed it at a real nut house, I want to say in Oregon. But one of my favorite movies. If you've never seen it, check it out. Biz, you've seen it, have you? No. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. All right, that's your assignment for this week.
I think I've seen parts of it. When it's on TV,
Nurse Ratched.
Yeah, Nurse Ratched. Oh yeah. One of the meanest fucking characters of all time. Yeah. What's her name? Oh, I forget it. She won the award too, as well, the Oscar for that. Okay. I don't have an NFL pick yet. I didn't really like anything, but NHL picks tonight. If Minnesota, if Wallstedt is starting again, this kid's got 4 shutouts in his last 6 games. He has 10.5% of all the shutouts in the NHL this season in just his last 6 games. That's pretty wild. One dude has all that. So if Minnesota, if Wallstedt's starting tonight, they're only minus 115 in Calgary. It seems like too low of a line, but I'm going to jump on them again if Wallstedt's starting. And one last thing, if you're in Boston this weekend, if you're around Sunday, I will be behind the bench at TD Garden coaching Team Shorzy versus the Bruins alumni. It's a charity game. The Shorzy boys will be in town this weekend. So if you need something to do Sunday, 3 o'clock, come on over TD Garden and see
nice.
behind the bench. Yeah, I'm pretty excited, man. I did it last year over at Guinness Arena, but to be behind the bench at TD Garden, man, I'm pretty fired up. Something I never thought was going to happen. So I'm pretty revved up for it. Needless to say.
Fucking right.
And last thing. Last night was the final episode 3 of We Peakin. Everyone, go support our guy Biz. Go support the guy that's giving you all these laughs, all these takes over the years, and check out his series because it's excellent.
I love the double meaning of it too.
That felt genuine.
That was 1,000%.
He was hiding his
Do you like
smirk.
my takes?
Yeah, I love that's a clever title too, Biz. Peakin, not just the peak of the mountain, but if you take a little something when you're on the mountain.
Oh baby,
Yeah,
baby,
good one.
and go support the amputees as well. What David Vabora is doing in Texas is awesome. So all the information you need to find is on that video, and a credit to those guys for getting all the way to the top. So check it
Unreal.
out. Peakin, baby. Thanks to Wonton and the boys.
We will be back. And tonight, if you're in Canada, if you have Amazon Prime, throw us on. We're going around the league. We're going around the league for hours and hours and hours, covering all the action. Biz, myself, and Jens. RA, thank you once again for an RA's World. Thank you so much for the amount of merch that you guys bought from Black Friday to Cyber Monday. Shout out the people creating our merch. Shout out everyone out there who is willing to spend a couple hard-earned dollars on a hat or a t-shirt or a hoodie. Like, that means the world to us, and that is so cool that you're willing to spend your money on representing our brand. And seriously, thank you. We love you all. This show is nothing, wouldn't exist without you guys. So thank you. I wanted to get that in there.
That's very kind of you, Whit.
Yeah, our merch, it's a beacon too, man. When people see it from afar, whether it's like a bonding thing. When people see the Chiclets gear, man, it's pretty good shit. So
it's like when motorcycle drivers pass each other, they gave each other the piece, or Jeep drivers, or F-250 Super Duties.
Most people bought between like 6 and 7 pieces of merch.
Love you, boys.